wherever that may be, as you're always in travels. So wherever that may be, may you truly be benefited and increasing. All my Texas rabbis here, and I'm not being partial to Texas, but I just want to be cordial because there's still chivalry in Texas. You're still finding gentlemen and gentlewomen here in Texas, so that's great. Hopefully all over the world as well. All over the world also. But I just want to do a quick mic check, make sure everything's coming in crystal clear. I haven't been doing these updates for Power Talk, so getting the computer right, make sure everything's good to go. I don't know if you all did the updates as well, but yeah, they're going on. El, woman of the says Shabbat Shalom, Mahakoim, Rabbi Kefa, and all the Mishpachah. Shabbat Shalom on one of the most beautiful sunshiny days that our Creator has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, indeed. Indeed, every day, even though there's clouds outside, it's always sunny and sunshiny inside my conscious. The conscious mind, I'm always in sunny mode. Yeah, you know, well, what's the use in being cloudy and with a chance of rain? You know, it's always sunny in there, but yeah, we take all things and we roll with it, right? That's the difference between us and the rest of the world. Is if we understand what's within us. I think that's important to understand. We understand what's within us, and we're not dictated by outside forces. Now, I do appreciate the sunshiny days, calmer as well. I appreciate that. I appreciate the rain too. We could get some decent rains over here in San Antonio. They're doing wonders for my garden. But I think perspective is key. Those that are connected to themselves with the I am, their inner man, their inner woman, they realize that, my goodness, nothing can phase you, nothing can touch you. Just like MC Hammer says with his, his little parachute pants. So he goes parachute pants. I used to have a pair back in the day. I cut about 10 lawns to give me a pair of those hands. He used to say, you can't touch this. You can't touch it. You remember the car you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I had to cut 10 lawns because my father was not paying for those parachute pants. So guess what? I had to pay for them for myself. So that means I had to cut many lawns, cut about 10 lawns, saved enough money, went and got me my parachute pants, and you couldn't touch this. So yeah, that's my teenage years in summary. Yeah, my father really taught me a great work ethic. I'm pretty sure your fathers probably have for you as well. Taught you a great work ethic that that you must if you want something, go work for it. Not that you have to work harder, but you have to work smart. You must work smart. And then when you work for something and you get it, my goodness, it is precious to you. You hang on to it and you treat it like like a fine piece of porcelain. Because you put your blood, sweat, and tears, you put your meditation, you put your energy, you put your vibration into that. And then now you have it. My goodness. Rabbi Benir, Shabbat Shalom to you. Rabbi Benir saying, I'm in the ATL right now, Chief Kefa, hammer time. Yeah. Yeah, sure. It's definitely hammer time for sure. But Shabbat Shalom to all you Mishpachah. Our wonderful family. I don't know how many of you were able to purchase Hakohim's new book. That's a powerful. The book is super tiny. It's a quick read, but it's powerful. It's jam-packed with information that is needed, much for humanity, so they can get on not only information but instruction. A lot of books will give you great information, but you don't get the instruction. I'm so humbled and happy that I was able to proof the book. I read it this week. Excellent read. Excellent read. But more apropos, if you apply what's in that book, it will change your life. There was no religion attached to it. There is no baggage attached to this book whatsoever. It's all about you and what you're going to do. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. I think this book will do great. I know it will do great things for those that take and apply what's necessary so they can benefit their lives and they can live happy lives with happy wives and joyful children and happy dogs or whatever pet you like. So I think that's important to understand. So Todah for your responses, by the way. I wish you all a great Shabbat ahead. And Let's keep moving forward. Keep writing your scripts. Keep desiring. Keep having dreams. Keep your vision board going. And, just be happy. Live a happy life. Live a life of peace, a life of joy. That's it. At the end of the day, that's my script that I write for all humanity. Is that whatever you're doing, if you're happy doing it, hey, I'm backing you 110%. Go for it. Be happy. Who's to say your happiness has to be my happiness? You see, that's where we mess up a lot. That's where we make mistakes. We intrude on someone else's happiness. I'm not about to intrude on your happiness. I'm not about to do that. Even though it may seem like unorthodox or different. How many of you watched that cartoon, that cartoon Happy Feet? That penguin. He couldn't sing if it saved his life. But the man he had the happy feet. He could dance, he could tap dance like no man's business. You watch that cartoon, it's quite instructional. And at the end of the day, it was his happy feet that saved the whole clan of Emperor Penguins. It was the happy feet. While everybody was putting him down, running him under the bus, didn't have too many friends, wasn't liked in school because he couldn't sing. Couldn't sing, Mishpah. And the most beautiful, I guess, Emperor Penguin girl, that everybody desired, she could sing like no man's business. She could sing and your heart would fall out of your body. She could sing so good. And she was being, courted by every Emperor Penguin. But guess who ended up getting her? Mr. Happy Feet himself. Mr. I Can't Sing. He ended up marrying her. Having offspring. Baruch Hashem. I mean, that movie has great lessons in it. Yeah, Happy Feet 2 is good too. I watched all of them. You see? I think it's so very, very important that we understand that. So very important. So very important. So that it will really motivate you and just give you encouragement to tell you, just because you think outside of the box, just because you're different than everybody else, that's not a bad thing, Mishpah. That's actually a great thing. That's actually great. And in that, whatever gifts that you have the ability to be super successful, super abundant, infinitely abundant. You all bring things to the table. All of you do. You don't try to look at Rabbi Kefa's life. Don't try to look at Kohen's life and say, and pattern your life after our lives. You're doing yourself a disservice. Pattern your life after how you want to write your script. Pretty sure your script pages are not like my script pages. They're just different. Some things may be similar, but you may have a different approach of getting there, a different way about doing it. But long at the end of the day that you get there, my goodness, to me, that's what really matters. So I think that's important to understand. Very, very important to understand. They can't touch you, you see. They can't touch. You cannot be touched. You're truly unique. You are truly unique. To God for that, Torah. You're unique. Don't see yourself as I'm odd. You need to change your mindset up. You're unique. You're a unique individual. You have unique characteristics, unique character traits that separate you and make you totally different from the next man in the Walmart line, from the next man in the Costco line, from the next woman in the Costco. You're totally different, and that's great. And it's our uniqueness that makes us so great. You look at America. Who can say in this room that they're indigenous to America? None of you can. Unless you're 100% Indian, Native American, then you could say you're indigenous, but everybody, that's what makes America so great. This is a melting pot of what? Different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. That's why America is the greatest empire known to man today. It's because we all come together and we unify in our differences. That's beautiful. You don't have to go pushing something on an agenda or a religion on somebody else. No, just be yourself. And love the person for who he is, for what he is, for what she is, for who that person is. That's beautiful. That's the beauty of humanity. Mother Earth intended it to be that way. For sure. Without any prejudices. Mother Earth has no prejudices whatsoever. No prejudices. Why do we? I think it's beautiful for us to stand. Even though other people may not get it, you get it. So go out and light that understanding that you have. Go out and demonstrate and execute it in your world, in your nation. And then you're doing the work of the Master Yeshua. Master Jesus, Master. You're doing the work. Not just saying it, but you're actually doing it. They see it. And then you make this world a better place, wherever you may be. Because you do have influence. You do have frequency. You do have vibration. You do have energy. So on that note, I just wanted to just get I just wanted to get a mic check in, but sometimes you have to say things that need to be for someone that needs to hear it at this time. That needs to hear it now. So that's what's important. So we're fired up whenever our queen's ready. I wish you all a great Shabbat ahead. A great 6 days of labor as well as you continue to write your scripts and fulfill and manifest and bring in, as the rabbis of Kafari like to reel in your desires, your wants, your needs, your positive thoughts, your affirmations. Believe me, I want you all to start giving testimonies, because I'm pretty sure, the universe is working for your benefit. But you must acknowledge and give thanks and be great and show great gratitude for the things that you have. So on that note, we'll say Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom to you, and we'll fire it up whenever our coin's ready. If you're new to the room, please acknowledge yourself. Let us know where you're dispersed in the nations, and we welcome you. We'll open arms here. This is descendants of Abraham here. We just like Abraham. Doors are open for everybody. No problem. Lottie-dottie, everybody's welcome. Humanity is welcome here. Shabbat Shalom, Mishpaha.
Good morning, Shabbat Shalom, good afternoon, good evening. Hope I'm coming in loud and clear. It's Rabbi Simon out of in the North US, I guess. Still here in the US. Baruch Hashem Yahweh, Baruch Hashem Master Yehoshua. What a great week indeed. We're starting to see a bit of sunshine over here now, coming out into the spring. Let's just do our little joke of the week. A priest, a rabbi, and a minister are flying together to an ecumenical convention. In mid-flight, the plane encounters turbulent weather. The captain comes on the intercom. "We've run into a major electrical storm," he announces. "I don't know if we are going to make it. I urge each of you to pray in your customary manner." The rabbi chants, "Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad." The minister sings, "O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home." The priest recites, under the B 7, under the I 22, under the N 39. Okay, so that was a joke. Now I want to say Baruch Hashem Yahweh, Toda Rabba, for the support you've all given to the widow. May the Master of heaven and earth give you great abundance. We are now almost there, almost. I believe that we are only about $269 short and for the total that we're aiming for. So we're almost there, about $269 short. Apart from that, the other thing is this, that I wanted to give you the new name of the book that Rabbi Kefa spoke about, that he kindly proofread for me. It is called, the book name is the Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law, Default Mode for Humanity. That is a book. It has actually gone out to Amazon and Lulu Press. I think Amazon, I had to make a few edits, like corrections that Rabbi Kefa sent in for the spellings, a couple of other things. So those have been put in place today, and it's been submitted to Amazon. Amazon will probably have it out by tomorrow, And Lulu Press is available today if you want to seek it from Lulu Press. As Rabbi Kefa said, the intention of the book is not to give you content. It wasn't a buffer book like where you just ramble on and on and on about this and that and the third, and just fill up pages and pages of reams and reams of pages just with rambling about this, that and the third. My book's whole purpose was to be very concise, to the point, and to its practicality and daily application. So I did it just by that. So it's not a huge book. It's only, I guess it's barely over 100 pages, but the book is full of content that is relevant to every individual's life. I have, given some testimonies in there with permissions of the people who have let me do that, and I've also given some things of I guess some of my things, but not everything. Everything is not in there. I guess because I didn't want it to, like I said, I didn't want it to make reams and reams of pages about just rambling on about why certain things don't work and why other things work. But I think maybe I'm thinking now, once I wrote that book and I put it out there, it came to my mind that I'm going to have to now write another book, which is going to have to explain why things don't work and why things do work, and why certain individuals will get things working for them while other individuals will not get things working for them, etc. and etc. And I wanted to make sure that was the case. But again, like I said, that will be a second book, probably. And don't know the title, don't know the timing, because it's taken me this book has taken about a year. I mean, it may not seem big, but the book's taken over a year to complete. It was just I had written a few pages and it was just sitting there, and then I wrote another few pages and it just sat there, then another few pages and it sat there, and eventually I decided, okay, now I better complete it. So this is how this book has come about, like almost like a few pages at a time. And then I decided, well, what is relevant, what is good, what is working, what is not working. So I decided to put the things out that worked, that I have absolute no chance of failing. And then I decided that the best thing to do would be for me to wait and put more information for the book later, but in a different format, because there will be a lot of questions that are going to arise from this book. There are going to be certain applications people are going to ask, and I felt that they'll be dealt with another time. That's probably the best way. And maybe another treatise, another treatise of another book that may perhaps goes into one particular subject, and then we can deal with that subject. I did not actually deal with karma in this book at all. Didn't even touch it. I thought about it. I thought that's another subject that needs to be dealt with separately by. I don't know if I mentioned it by the passing. I may have mentioned it in passing, but I didn't actually deal with it in all intent and purposes. I would like to. So we will continue because it's on the lunar calendar. It's the Passover week, and it's the Chag HaMatzot. Today is the feast of, I guess what they call the unleavened bread festival, and the set apart day, holy day today. So based on that, I thought it would have been good to go back and look at the story of Lot again. Maybe we'll touch base on that. We may have looked at it together. I don't know how far we got in that story. And if you remember that Lot was visited by two angelic beings, and those angelic beings were told Lot to come out of the house, take his wife, take his children, and Lot tried to persuade various people in his family, his son-in-laws, that he had betrothed his daughters to, but they refused to come. His daughters came out, wife came out, then we find that the wife later died and became a pillar of salt, so to speak. And then Lot moves on. Lot's daughters, I guess at this point, they impregnate themselves through their father, and then we have the two children that are born, the two nations that Ammon and Moab, that became hostile towards Israel. So because of the way this birth took place, hence why these nations opposed Israel, opposed Abraham's children. But one second. So what happened was that because they opposed Abraham's children, I wanted to actually draw like a little parallel, and the parallel was this: that notice the parallels, that when Lot was a person who came under Abraham. If you remember, by himself, Lot actually could not be qualified as a righteous person, right ruling person, a person right in God's sight. He was under Abraham, and therefore you could say he was right under Abraham. So it was Abraham's right ruling, righteousness, right standing in God that protected Abraham's nephew, or who he called himself his brother as well and family member, Lot in this case. Then Lot's children's children, in other words Lot's grandchildren, who were born through the daughters, they started to oppose Abraham's children. Of course, Israel, Jacob's sons being Abraham's progeny, they were then opposed by these people. And I think it's very relative that we kind of look at that and try to understand something. And I drew a really, you'll be able to draw a real good conclusion yourself, but I too would ask you to look at the conclusion over here. And conclusion being that somebody trying to contact me, but I'm not going to take the call. So having said that, they'll have to wait for me. Having said that, one of the things, let me just switch this phone's volume off, because they're going to keep trying otherwise, being distracted. So having said that, there are times when you help people, and this is what you as people need to look at. And are you helping the people for the right cause? Because Abraham had helped his nephew at a time when he could have just left him over there, and he could have been left with the nations and did his own deal. But he decided to bring him along so that he could be benefactor of the blessings that Abraham was going to be benefactor. So he gets blessings through Abraham, and then yet the payment that Abraham receives, the payment, instead of being patted on the back and saying, hey, what a great uncle I had, and what a great relative we had, they could have said that. They don't do that. But instead, give me a second. Rabbi Kefa, do you want to take over for a minute? I've got to answer to this person. They're calling me from abroad to talk for that.
Okay, yeah, Hakohin, no problem. If I can be heard, can I get a one? I have a few things I need to get out anyway. By the way, I know you heard that, Chadasha, for your responses, by the way. Yeah, I know you heard that we've just about, the time, the heavens is not going to stay open for you long when it comes to being able to be a benefactor of benefiting this widow over there in the east. So I think we're, roughly about $100 short, $300 to make the mark, $300 before, the circulation comes in and the need is met, the desire for this widow is met. And for those of you who want to participate in it, there is still availability. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to give me a one or a two if you participated or not. All I'm going to say is that there is still opportunity for you to give back. You see, remember, you are a receiver and you are a transmitter of frequency. How many of you believe that? It's so true. So if you want to receive, and in the book I told you talked about this, if you want to receive, if you're a receiver, then if you're a great receiver, if you can receive in things, and you're also a great giver. You must be able to give. And you give happily. That's in the book. I just read it. It's in the book. It's beautiful. And when you really understand that principle, because I know I've come out of Christianity, background in Christianity and Catholicism. So I can tell you that they really understand that they must give, and they really give with love. How many of you been there? How many of you know exactly what I'm talking about? A Christian will give, and they'll give with love. There's some love behind it. They give with the G of love. They have no problem giving. Christians have no problem giving whatsoever. Catholics as well, they'll give. They'll give to meet whatever goal that they're trying to do. You don't believe me? Look at what happened at Notre Dame. Do you see how much money is being poured in outside France to help rebuild and replenish Notre Dame? Notre Dame, as they say? People are giving. Oliver will tell you. Countries, they're giving money. And they're happily giving. And they give with fervor. And so, yeah. So I tell you what, it's so important that you as a receiver, as a transmitter of frequency. How many of you know money it's not an object, it's energy. That's all it is. Your energy. Money's energy. My dog is energy. That plant that you have in your house right now, it's energy. Your house is energy. It's a vibration. It's frequency. Everything on this planet is energy. Why? It's because it's made up of atoms. At the end of the day, it's all energy. You see? So again, I think it's important that you do understand is that if you really want to be if you really want to amp up your ability to be able to receive, you must give. But like Hakoin is explaining now in his lecture, you must give in a certain way. You can't give with a sad face. You can't give pouting. You know what I mean? You can't. You must give up your energy, and energy is what? Money. Money is a form of energy. Just like giving of self. Even our books teach us and tell us about, like luxury classes, telling you to be cheerful, to give with joy, to give with happiness. Just like you receive with joy, you receive with happiness. You see, so here's an opportunity. This is another great opportunity that the son of Aaron, the Kohen, is presenting to Israel, to amp up their ability to be receivers, to amp up their ability to be great transmitters as well. You see? So it's not just the point of giving, because some come quiet, some come complaining, and they give. So, oh man, and their thought process is all wrong because they think, oh well, here you go again, ask for some more money. The Eeyore complex. They get in there and say, oh no, here we go again. They need more money, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. And then they understand, and at the end of the day, they finally fight themselves, and they end up giving. They'll give to whatever particular need is out there, but then they realize, and then they don't see anything coming back in return for their giving. Why is that? It's because they gave with the wrong motive. When you look at millionaires and billionaires here in America and our world over, is they have great charities. They have great things that they're doing to give back. And they don't give pouting and screaming and hollering and complaining. They give. If you notice, look at them. They'll donate thousands of dollars to universities, millions of dollars to organizations, and all kinds of philanthropy. And they do it with not touting, not hands tied behind the back. That's our principle. It's a universal principle that works. It's not a religious principle, by the way. This is a universal law that actually works. It's on the same level as the karma. You see, what you give out comes back to you. What you do will be done to you. You see, it's just like a slingshot effect. The strength of your slingshot will determine the strength of the stone that you're throwing out there. And that same energy, same way with the boomerang for you who's down there in Australia. And we do have people that listen in from Australia, by the way, because they phoned into us this past week. Listening from Australia. Bukashim. So when you throw that boomerang, my goodness, you throw that boomerang back, guess what? It comes back to you. It comes right back to you. I think Luxury Class has given us a verse from one of the translations out there that says, take heed that you do your alms not before men, not to be seen of them, otherwise you have no reward. So it is not to please man. You understand? That's not the mindset. The mindset is for you to be benefited, for you to amplify your ability to be a great receiver and a transmitter of positive energy. You help someone else out, guess what? You'll be helped. You benefited, or whatever kind of way it is, you've done any kind of great thing, grandiose thing. You may see it as a small thing. Oh, Rabbi, I only have $20. $20 adds up. Well, I only have $20, so I'm not going to give. You see, your mind will give you all kind of reasons why you don't give, why you don't participate as a family member, as a family, as a part of Israel, you see. Because you're like, oh, well, I only have, my $10 is not going to make a difference. Yes, it will. That penny will make a difference. How many of you know, I remember this growing up as a child. Pennies turn into dollars. You see it, believe me. I used to collect, y'all remember back in the day, you used to make the penny rolls? I had that machine, and you put money into it, and it'd fill up your little penny roll thingies, and I used to take that money to the bank. I was, man, my goodness, and I used to love it. You go to the bank, and some of the banks still have it, but it's in the back now these days. So you have it, you bring all your coins in, and they'll put it in that big machine, and you'll hear it go, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Man, that's a great principle, and I'm going to use that same principle and apply it with my children. Hey, put your money. I'm going to give them quarters and the nickels and the dimes, if they're still made, by the way. Because what I hear now is it costs more money to make this money than it does to put it into circulation. So it's costing money to make money. It's costing more money to make a penny than a penny is worth. I was like, wow. Well, then why are we still making pennies? You see what I mean? You see? But anyway, yeah, I remember those days. I guess this is a little nostalgia, but I remember those days. You get all your coins. How many of you used to have the big old water jugs that you would get for those water machines? When those water jugs was empty, I used to take those water jugs and I would fill them up. I would fill them up with the necessaries, with the coins and the nickels, dimes, pennies. And I realized, my goodness, pennies start to equal to dollars. And I learned that principle from a very young age. How many of you walking down the street, you see a dime on the ground and not pick it up? I would. I see a dime, a nickel, a penny in the corner of the sidewalk. Guess what? I'm picking it up and I'm putting it right in my pocket and I'm adding it to my big water jug or my piggy bank or whatever. I pick it up because I understand the principle. And see, a lot of folks think, because you have a lack mindset, you think lack. You think, oh, well, that's never going to turn into nothing. Or you have a negative mindset. I'm reading this book. I want to read this to you. I think this is so great. This spiritual teacher, he says this: the egoic mind has become like a sinking ship. If you don't get off, you'll go down with it. Isn't that true? You see, we must use the mind as the great, wonderful machine, the tool that it is. We don't allow the mind to control us and run the ship. The mind should not be at the steering wheel, by the way. But when you look at humanity as a whole, and you do an assessment as students of nature, you'll realize that most people on this earth have the mind running the ship. The mind is actually at the steering wheel, telling the ship exactly where it's going to go, how it's going to get there, what time it's going to get there. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You probably have family with friends or loved ones in this same situation right now. Because the mind is in control. I call it mind control. No figure there, huh? It's called mind control. And people are being controlled by their mind instead of using their mind for the wonderful tool that it is. as your mind and your thoughts are just ruling the day, ruling the roost. Listen to this as well. The collective egoic mind is the most dangerous, insane, and destructive entity ever to inhabit the planet. My goodness, how many of you Avenger lovers? I mean, I love the Avengers. I love Avenger series. My goodness, I love the Avengers. I like that kind of stuff. And you know, you have these invasions of these people from other planets, other universes coming here. That's not the biggest. Zoros is not the biggest enemy out there. And that was one of the questions that the Mother Wisdom, the Ruach HaKadosh, in my meditations this week, she asked me this question. She said, "What's the biggest enemy?" Anybody tell me, what's your biggest enemy? What's the biggest thing that puts you down? And when I was reading this in this book by this spiritual leader, spiritual advisor, he's like, there you go. See, you guys are clued up because you're attached to your conscience. You're not being ruled by your mind. Yourself is the biggest enemy out there. Yourself. Regardless how you unwind, I got this enemy over here, this person telling me this, that, the other, and the third. Your biggest enemy is within you, yourself. If you don't meet the necessary criteria, and if you're not dealing with the situation. Meaning, you see yourself as a ship, like this spiritual leader talk about. When you see yourself as a ship, you're not being navigated by your mind. If you are, then, you need to go in there and do one of those Jason Bourne type things. You go in there and you're going to have to take the ship back by any means necessary. And then after that, do the hammer dance. Can't touch it. Parachute pants on. But you're going to have to go back in there, and you're going to. And see, this is what occurs with a lot of you right now. Is you're going back in there, and you're taken hostage. You've been taken hostage. Your ship has been taken hostage by your what? By your mind and by your thoughts. Because if you're thinking, oh well, that $20 is not going to help this old lady in Pakistan. Oh, my $10 is not going to help. You see. Oh, that $5 is not going to make a difference. Yes, it does, collectively. If you have 1,000 people get $5, how much money is that, you mathematicians? If you have 1,000,000 people get $5, how much money is that, Mr. Remember, you were put on this earth to multiply, not to survive. See, but one of the key things that happens here is that the mind divides you. You hear people say this sometimes. I'm between two minds. Well, you better get right. You better get right with the one mind. Well, I'm in between two minds. I don't know whether I should do this or do this or that. You need to take control. The biggest enemy on the face of this earth is your mind. Is yourself. Is your mind and your thoughts. Because what they do is they hamper you, and they stagnate you, and they paralyze you, and they prevent you from truly living a life of abundance, living a life of blessing. And then you give the money in anger, and then you wonder why the universes don't bring the infinite abundance back to you. You're like, wait a minute, I gave the money, Rabbi, and it didn't work. Well, here's the question. How did you give the money? Did you give the money with joy? Did you give the money with peace? Or did you give the money for the widow kicking and screaming and complaining? Oh no, here they go again asking for some more money. My goodness. Money is energy. It's not an object. You can attract money to you. But again, I'm trying to help you understand that you must have the right vibration, the right energy, the right frequency to be able to attract it to you. That negative boundary that you put up is preventing and blocking that monetary gain that you desire for yourself. How many of you in this room, because I just don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. How many of you in this room right now would like a monetary gain? Anybody? Am I just talking to myself? How many folks in this room right now would want a monetary gain? Let me stop. Anybody in this room would want a monetary gain? To die for your responses, by the way. To God for your responses. Everybody, I mean, that should be your desire. Is to have monetary gain, not stay stagnant, not say, oh, I'm happy with where I am, because you have to be very careful with that. We're human beings, and you should always be evolving, Ms. Bahar. Don't get to a point where you say, oh, I'm satisfied with where I am. Don't ever do that. Because then guess what? You stagnate your I am. Because you said, I am satisfied with where I am. You hear what you just said? And then you stagnate yourself. And then you become like that pond water. How many of you know, would you rather drink spring water or pond water? Take your pick. How many of you want to drink pond water? Because I have a lot of that green stuff down here in San Antonio right now, and I can ship you a bottle real quick. Anybody want some of that green pond water? The stuff is green, and you wonder why it's green. And they have these little organisms in it floating in it. It's because there's no movement. You see? There's no movement. And let's face it, at the end of the day, maybe there's a book coming up on my end that's going to just deal with, it's going to just be called money. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, some folks hate money. They don't have money, and they hate money. Anybody know somebody like that, you students of nature? They don't have a lot of money, and yet they hate money. But they say that they need me. Think about what I just said. I talked to some people like that this week. They don't have any money. They hate money, but yet they want money. Wow. Does that make you scratch your head? I'm scratching my head right now. I'm like, wait a minute. If it don't make dollars, to me, it don't make sense. Think about what I just said. I think I had some movie or something. I was in the movie saying, look, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You see, if it's not making dollars, how you expect it to make any sense? You're not even going to get sense out of it. But yet, many people are like that. Well, you may be saying, Rabbi Kefa, you sure do love money. I sure do. I love money, and money loves me back. And me and money have a friendship that will last forever. I do love money. Because I understand that money can help and bring me that great life that I want, that happiness, that peace. How many of you are more peaceful without money? Just tell me that. If you're more peaceful without money, hey, I say good. Anybody, please, anybody in this room right now, if you're more peaceful without money, please state your claim. Let me know. Let me know. You see, because that right there is still coming from a mentality of lack. Oh, less is. How many of you heard that statement? Less is more. Oh, not with me. Not in my world. People's world, more is more. That's how I see it. But they'll tell you, oh, less is more, brother. And you need to lessen yourself so that you can reach the climax of your spiritual awakening. No, more is more. I want more of Mother Earth. I want more of the universe. Wow, that may be a song I may sing this week. I want more of Mother Earth. I want more of universe. I want more. I don't want to get to a point where I say, oh, that's it. That's enough. Please stop with the infinite abundance. Oh, you're not going to ever hear me say that. You're not going to ever hear me say that. Because I'm always evolving. I understand that. There's so much I understand, and there's so much I don't understand. And I always want to understand. I always want to understand. And I'm always understanding. Do you understand? That's where we are. So when your mind and your thoughts are running the ship, if you don't jump ship, what's going to happen? You're going to go down with the ship. Because you have the mentality that I'm the captain of the ship. So you think, but your thoughts in your mind, they're hoodwinking you and they're bamboozling you. And little do you know, they're the ones that's captaining the ship. You're just going to go down with it because you don't want to jump the ship. You must jump ship. Very important that you must jump. So yes, I did go to the post office this next. And for those of you who did give the $50 and above, starting last week, was last week that I made the, 2 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I said anybody that gave $20 or more, I would post you this wonderful miracle-making feel-good cream that's called Ema Earth or Mother Earth. And this cream is doing wonders for me because I've been in the garden lately. You know, it's springtime over here in San Antonio. Been doing a lot of great work in the garden, making the wife happy. I love being outside in the garden. But anyways, this.
Sorry about that, Rabbi Kefa. Sorry, that was accidental. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to give you the mic back so you can finish your discussion.
Oh, okay. I was like, what was that? Did I get beamed up? Okay, no problem, my friend. If you want to get into your lecture, I'm going to make this last point because I just wanted to let everybody know that I can continue on with my lecture if you like. No worries. Just let me know what you want to do. If you still want to go with your first thought, then we'll roll with that. And if you want to come on up after I finish making this, then you can as well, because you were in your lecture too. And so just let me know what you want to do. Yeah. So back to the cream. The cream has been shipped out. Hakohin has sent several your way. Okay, I sent several your way, so you can send them to your family there in Pakistan. All I want is feedback because we're still in the clinical trials right now. So when you guys get your cream, it's coming, so just use it. External use only. I've been using it for the mosquitoes and bites that I'm getting out here. Some of the battle scars from working in the garden, working in the yard, and things like that. All I need is feedback. All I want to know is what the cream is doing for you. Because what this cream is doing for somebody else, man, I tell you, it's helping me with my allergies. Because me and Paulin have a long-term relationship. And as a child, I did have asthma as a child, but I grew out of it as an adult. So every now and then, like, it can get inflamed when I'm out there, all that green pollen that was in your cars and in your garden, which is a beautiful thing because it makes everything green, right? So I would put that underneath my nasal and in my nasal passages. I would put it on my chest before I go out and work in the garden, and I found I wasn't sneezing whatsoever. It really helped with my allergies. And a lot of folks have already reported that it's helping with rashes that they have, skin rashes, things like this. Bites, it's helping with bites, swelling and soreness, muscle aches is doing wonders for that. It just takes instantly. I noticed with the ant bite, I received the ant bite, and as soon as I received that bite the other day, I put that cream immediately. Immediately, all the side effects of the bite stopped. All you saw was the swelling, which went down in a couple of minutes as well. So I was amazed. Thanks to the universes for this wonderful product that I want to get out to the world. So it's coming. If you have any questions on it, you can always phone in to us. I'm gonna put together a little package. I'm still coming up with my logo right now for it. So we're in clinical trials. So just tell me what the product is doing for you guys. Just let me know what it's doing. And I in gratitude, and I'm so happy and grateful that I'm able to give this to you. Again, giving back. Because you are helping this widow, I'm so glad, $20 or more, able to, get this product to you so you can try it out as a tester and just let me know what it's doing for you. That's it at the end of the day. So I personally want to thank you for helping this widow because you don't understand. You may think you're helping the widow, but you're doing more for yourself. You're helping yourself even more. Because the universes will bring it back to you even more. Even though you may have put in $20, believe me, the joy, the peace, the love that this woman is going to feel because she was helped by complete strangers. I can guarantee you, none of you in this room besides Hakohin even knows this woman. You don't even know, you haven't even seen a picture of the woman. But yet, complete strangers have helped this lady so many miles away. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And it's going to come back to you. Believe me, it will. Measure, maybe even multiply because of the joy and the love and the peace that this woman is going to have. And just the comfort that you're giving this woman. I tell you what, it's a beautiful thing. These are the kind of stories that need to be talked about. A beautiful, beautiful thing. These are the kind of stories that need to be amplified. Because, these are feel-good stories. You're doing great things. You know, this is good news. So, yeah, the product has been shipped as of Friday. I shipped it out Friday. So, you guys let me know how it's working for you. And just give me the feedback. We're still in clinical trials. I mean, there's a lot of things. The cream is universal. But I'm trying to figure out what is the universe? What are these universal things that is the universal, you know, solvents? Because it's bringing solutions to many people's problems. You know, aches and pains, that's a problem. You know, scratches, cuts, bites, burn, these are problems. You know, allergy is a problem. So now we must bring the solution in there. Quit concentrating on the problem, now apply solution. I think that's important. So just let me know what it's doing for you. And I'm going to turn it back over to Hakohin, and we'll continue on. We'll keep moving and continue on. And we give thanks to the Creator of the heavens and the universes, and give thanks, you know, to the Master Yahweh, Master Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, that we truly can walk in His footsteps. We truly can apply our lives, make our lives even better, do greater miracles. We can do greater miracles than the Master. We can. You have the ability to do so. Let's begin to do them. And I firmly believe this cream is one of those great miracles. It's going to do great works and help many people all the world. Beautiful thing. Patent pending, logo pending, all that's pending, but the product is going out. That's what's important. So, yeah, to God for all of your help. And I want to thank you for helping out. I want to thank you for coming together as a family and doing great things to help someone else that you don't even know, that may not have any belief like you believe. So what? You're helping humanity, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story, okay? On that note, I'm going to turn it back over to our Kohen. We'll continue on with our lectures, and I wish you all a great Shabbat.
Yeah, Toda for that, Rabbi Kefa. Yeah, apologies for the earlier calls. I was getting a few calls I needed to address because, you know, over there is evening time and over here is morning time, so we got a differential between east and the west. Now, I was coming back to Abraham's story, and I was talking about Abraham's children being Israel, Jacob's sons, that is. And I was talking about Lot's children being the two children that his daughters produced. Now, one could actually ask the question, and I think it's a good question to ask. If in hindsight, God is omnipotent, God knows that if those women would be saved, then their children would later become arrogant and hostile towards Abraham's children. He could have just finished those women there in Sodom and Gomorrah. They could have been just killed over there, and that would be the end of that. There'd be no children, there'd be no hostility, and nothing to worry about. However, what we see instead is that God saves them, allows them to have children, allows their children to become hostile to Abraham's children. Then the question is, why would God allow that to happen? Why that? Why not just, let those people that were going to be hostile in the future just remain there and be end with it? And there is an imperative in the story, and the reason is this: is that in order for these two particular nations that came out of Lot's daughters, Ammon and Moab, the reason for them was that their persecution or their prosecution of Israel or the 12 tribes was so that it would refine Israel as a nation. It would refine the people, and it will build them, and it will strengthen them. So a lot of the times when we get obstacles in our paths, we may be very upset with it, and it happens because we are human beings. We become very upset. We become angry. We become sometimes depressed, and raising our fist to God, so to speak. Some people do that too. They raise their fist to God and say, why you do this to me? You might often see this in Indian movies, where certain things happen to certain people in the movie, and then they're like really angry with God, and they're saying that why you chose me to, why you let this happen to me? Why you don't pick somebody else? So you see, the intrinsic lesson in this whole affair is that it's for us, for our build. However, I will say this: that some things that occur to you are for your strengthening, for your refining. But not everything is for your refining. You cannot go through life for 20 years of your life, for argument's sake, 2 decades of your life. 2 decades is way too long. You cannot go through 2 decades of your life through persecution, through hardship. If that's what's happening in your life, then you got to question that, because that is not from God. That is from within yourself. In other words, when I say within yourself, you may not be the 100% instigator of it. I don't mean it that you're guilty of that. I mean that it may be circumstances that are around you that can be changed, but it has to be that you have to change those circumstances. And you may be expecting God to come down, change those circumstances. And perhaps God can change those circumstances, but God is allowing you to change those circumstances. But then God may send a person into your life who will be able to help you change those circumstances. That's how God would work. God's not going to come down per se downstairs here and take birth as a human being and say, hey, here I am. He's not going to do that. And he's not even going to appear as an angel over here and say, here I am, what can I do for you? I'm your genie. He's not going to do that either. But what he will do is he will send another person on the scene who will be able to assist you. Maybe servant of God in some form or another, somebody who will be able to help you into direct your life so that you can bring you out of it. Exactly, Rabbi Kefa, as God sent Moses to Hebrews so that to bring them out. So therefore it's important that we need to know our place. We need to know where we need to be. And a lot of us need to question that. I was reading a story this morning, a little bit of news that came out, that in Kenya, Chabad, which is a Jewish organization, they have, rabbis in almost every country. They had a rabbi in Kenya, in Nairobi, and the rabbi's house was raided by burglars, and then they harassed them. They, these burglars, they hold up the rabbi's wife and the rabbi and put the children into the bathroom, and they kind of molested them somewhat. Not the children, but the rabbi and his wife. They kind of gave them a bit of a beating, bit of a bruising, and then they stole a lot of things from their home, whatever they could grab their hands onto, jewelry, computers, laptops, phones, etc., money. And so they grabbed everything and took off with it, and let them be. Didn't kill them, but let them be. You see, to me, right, that sends a message. Now the question is Chabad going to get that message, or is Chabad going to carry on like nothing happened? Because Chabad should have got that message a while ago, when the same rabbi was stopped in the street and robbed in the street, and all the people took from him at that time was his lapel, his Kefa, and his prayer book. There needs to be a lesson at some point. We went to Africa, and we ended up facing, knowing about all these different people who were lying to us, claiming to be widows and orphans, and names change, places change, and we learned firsthand that these people were lying. And we realized at that point that this is a message for us. Africa is not where we are meant to be. We are not meant to be here. That's why, right, these things happened. They are a lesson, and we heeded the lesson, and we turned away from that. 2016 was a turning point for us in Africa, and we turned away from Africa, and we never looked back since then. You see, it is the same lesson for these Chabad people, that when you are, all you're trying to do is preach the Torah, and people come and steal from you and rob from you, and that's the reward you're getting, then you have to ask the question: am I meant to be here, or am I meant to be somewhere else? So Chabad would do a much better service if Chabad, if a Jew from Chabad is listening to this, and I hope they are, they'll do a much better service elsewhere, not in Kenya. Kenya is not their place. They need to be out of there. So having said that, and if Rabbi Kefa remembers, Kenya was a place where Torah was rejected. In my face and in Rabbi Kefa's face, it was rejected by these so-called people. Hence why we never turned back. Since then, I had many emails from Kenya, people saying, "Oh, Rabbi, please, come over here and send us this book and that book." And I told them, no. You want to get the books? You go to Amazon, you go to the bookstores and buy your books. As for us, we are out of Africa. We're not going back there. That is not our place. And since we turned away from that, and Rabbi Kefa can tell you, guess what? No more scams. No more letdowns. No more losing money. None of that ever happened after that. Why? Because we got the message from above that we're not meant to be there. And this is why this is a message that needs to be heeded by Chabad. I kind of felt a little upset over that, that these guys are trying to do good over there and they are being met by, horrible people that are not interested in good. So this is that. And yesterday I wanted to tell you, it was my privilege yesterday to speak to one of my students who is actually an Israelite by blood. He's an Israelite by blood with history. Very few people can attest to that, and I can, because he came to me through Rabbi Kefa one day on the internet. His name is Abraham, and he basically, his family left Israel 2,000 years ago, just before the destruction of the temple, and they ended up in India. Back then India was one big country. Today it's split into 3 countries, and he ended up in India. From India he went into another nation called Kashmir, and from Kashmir he went into Pakistan, which at that point was still India. Today that part of India today is called Pakistan, and that's where he remained. There was a lot of Muslims in that nation at the time, or at least in that part of the region. And because India is a Hindu nation, but Pakistan, as you know, split as a result of becoming Muslim, and they had a lot of Muslims in those parts. And so he ended up being befriended by Muslims and Sikhs. Sikhs is another faith and another people in India, in the Punjabi region. And so what happened was, he then spoke about, he told me that his family, 13 families traveled from Israel to Baghdad, which was then Babylon, Baghdad being in Iraq, and from Iraq to India, and from India India, then these 3 nations, as I explained, became Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, and they ended up in Pakistan, and they converted, all of them converted to Islam. And he told me that the reason why his families converted was because they were fearful of persecution, because they were being persecuted by Muslims at that time, and they decided to save their lives. And so as a result of saving their lives, they ended up being Muslim. Today 99% of his family is still Muslim. Only he came out, from what I know, only he came out, and he was telling me about incidents in India. He said that he will, he's going to come and see me one day over here. He's already in America. He's doing a visit in America. By the way, he's an American citizen as well. So he's doing a visit in America, and he's in California right now. And he was telling me that he wants to come see me, and he wants to show me the history in which a ship went from Israel to India, and it broke up in some kind of a storm. And out of that ship, all the people that were traveling on it, he said only 18 people survived. Only 18. And he said he will tell me the story about those 18 people when he sees me. So I'm kind of waiting eagerly to hear the real life story of what happened to these 18 people that disembarked this ship that broke up in some kind of a storm in India 2,000 years ago, by the way. 2,000 years ago, can you imagine that? I was like, my goodness, that's some history. I'm getting it firsthand from somebody else. So I'm looking forward to that. And he was telling me, how, his families that traversed various regions and various peoples and various tribes, and, all of that first-hand kind of, exciting, adventurous information. I'd love to hear it one day. So I told him, I said, either I come over to you in California, or you come over to me, and we'll have to spend a couple of days together and discuss the history of our people. What happened? What happened prior to the destruction of the temple, and what his family's firsthand saw. You read a lot in different stories in books, but what you get from people is totally different scenario altogether, because there may be information that you'll never see in books, and that may be like first-hand scenario coming from this person by hand. So I was really interested to see that. But listen to this. He is a Jewish man, right? He is a Jewish man of pure stock. He looks like me. He looks like Pakistani people look, Middle Eastern look. And guess where he's staying? He's staying in California with a Sikh family. And the Sikhs have their temples. And you know where he's being housed right now? He's got a room right above the temple in California where he's residing. And I was like, my goodness, look at God's ways. Look at how God, right, has him in a temple, right, where Sikhs worship God, and he's upstairs in the temple room where they're housing him. And he's like, these guys are his friends. And of course, Sikhism is a different faith. They believe in God. They believe in the unseen God, but they don't have all these other, they don't believe in, they don't have the structure like Judaism or Christianity or Islam, any of that structure. But having said that, what was interesting, he said to me this. I said, if I come over, where will I stay? Do I have to book a hotel for myself? He said, no, you come and stay with me over here. In the temple, of course, upstairs. So it's kind of funny, right? So I said, okay, we'll have to figure something out. Because, I'll have to definitely figure something out to go there, or he has to come over here. So this is kind of interesting, how things are panning out. But I need to sit with this person firsthand. I need to sit down with him. And because I need to sit down with him and I need to speak to him, because he has a lot of history that he can give me, personal history of our people. And I wanted to hear that. And so I'm really excited to go, see him sooner or later. But he told me this in passing. He said to me, Rabbi, listen to this. He said, Rabbi, since I've been connected to you, I want everybody to know, that you're my rabbi and my teacher. And he said, listen, I'm going to go over to the east. I'm going to go to Pakistan. And he said, Rabbi, I want you to know this. I'm going to go build a home in Pakistan, in close to some mountainous region, where there's a big military base as well, in a place called Abbottabad. He said, I'm going to go build a home over there, near there. And he said, Rabbi, I'm going to build a home with 2 sections. He said, one section is going to be reserved for you. You're going to come over there, and I'm going to give you that section to live in, because I want everybody to know my teacher, and my rabbi. And he said, I will connect to you. He said, I will connect you to all these families, the 13 Israelite families that are in Pakistan today. He said, I want you to connect you to those people, so that you know who these people are. And I said to him, great, no problem. When you settle yourself over there in the east, I will definitely come. And I will definitely come and visit you, and we will definitely stay together and have great time together. And I would love to meet those people who came out of Israel, 2,000 years ago. Why not? My goodness, they are our families. So I said, that truly will be great. If I can do that, that will be great. What an awesome thing to have, right? That I would get to meet these 13 families that left Israel 2,000 years ago firsthand, and hear about their side of the story. Because, each family will be able to present a different side of their story, what happened. And then I could definitely a book will be in the making for that, for sure. And I could take pictures, of these people and find out what these guys are doing, and, who their forefathers were. And I know that some of these people are connected to the tribe of Judah. Some of these people are connected to the tribe of Benjamin. And I don't know if there's anybody else. So I have to ask, that's a question I'm going to have to ask them when I meet them. Is there anybody else from other tribes there, other than Judah and Benjamin? So very, very exciting times ahead, for me at least, and for you as well, because what I get to see and hear, you'll get to hear from me as well. So this is great. And so, as I was saying, the book that I published, The Law of Attraction versus versus a perfect law, I wanted to show the dichotomy, the differences. I've put a little difference there. There are differences, marked differences. And what I did? I found one particular law of attraction teachers group. I wanted to find out what they are charging people and what is it that they charge. And I asked them, I said, what is it to be a consultant in your group? How much you guys charge? And they're like all excited, like, I'm going to join them and all that. And I said, well, what is it? And the guy goes to me, that it's going to cost you, listen to this now, $29,500 payment advance to be a consultant in this group. And I was like, okay. So I said, what are the guarantees? He goes, well, the guarantees are, there are no guarantees, of course, in life. He's like, well, other consultants are making six-figure incomes. I said, I'm not interested in the six-figure incomes. I am interested in the fact that you're telling me that I can make a six-figure sum paying $29,500 in advance. And I wanted to get a little feeler, because I've been around in the world, and I've been in business, and I'm not stupid just to hand over money to people. So I said to them, I want to get a little feel of these things. And he's like, look, you can pay he goes to me, you can pay $5,000 right now, and you can make the rest into monthly payments. And I said, no. I said, first of all, I don't have that kind of money right now to give you, number one, because you're talking about a business, investing $30,000 nearly into it. But they don't tell you that's not it. They don't tell you that you have to invest money into websites, you have to invest money into traveling to Canada or wherever their headquarters are, and then, it's money, and before you know it, you spent $35,000 that you borrowed from the bank or something, and you're in a huge debt. That's basically what happens. And then what do you get out of it? That was an important question that I was seeking. You see, what do you get out of it? What are the guarantees? But there was no guarantee. So I said to the man, I said, if you're so sure, listen to this now. I said, if you're so sure about me being successful, I said, how about we do it this way? Let me come and work for you for 1 year, and you prove yourself, and I'll give you $50,000 instead of 30. How's about that? But I won't give you 50 now. I'll give you 50. I've earned it. And you know what he said? Nope, don't do business like that. So I said, neither do I. I don't do business by handing money up front and saying, give me a six-figure income. No thanks. So I said to him, that's the end of the conversation. Thank you very much. Nice speaking to you. Put the phone down. By the way, that was a Bob Proctor group. And later, I learned by doing a bit more investigation that they have some consultants who do make money, and they have some other consultants who have been treated very mistreated, and they have lost a lot of money. Listen to this. One particular consultant and his wife lost $45,000 or thereabouts. So this is why I keep saying to you, the information that I put together is worth more than $50,000 put together. Even I'll put a six-figure sum on it, but I don't sell it for a six-figure sum. I don't say to people, hey, give me $30,000 or give me $10,000 and I'll teach you. I don't do that. Why? Because, I have been through these things. I have done it. I have received it. It's not like, it's my first time, but what I did right, I know is sure to work. I can actually put a guarantee behind it. I could put a guarantee behind it and say, yep, I guarantee it will happen. Somebody said to me, hey, can you guarantee me this? I said, yep, I can guarantee you this, and I won't even charge you up front. How's about that? How's about I make you $50,000 and you pay me afterwards, and I guarantee it? I could do that. I'm so confident with my system, I could do that. But you see, these people running their so-called systems of law of attraction could not guarantee that. Hence why I want you to be very circumspect and careful when you embark on a journey to invest in places like that, because you could end up out of pocket and out of luck, and you'll be very sorry that you were not warned previously. So this was just an exercise, an example to tell people that actually there are a lot of groups out there that claim many claims, but unfortunately some of these claims are just not met. And one of the example that is given is, what they tell you? When you go and you don't make your money and you don't succeed, then they'll say to you, you didn't try hard enough. So they'll pin the blame on you. They won't say that they're wrong, they'll say you're wrong. But I was saying to Kefa, Rabbi Kefa, I call him Kefa in my private conversations, I was saying to Rabbi Kefa that, listen, let me show you something that really works. So I put something to the test, and I gave Rabbi Kefa that example of that, something real life. This is not make-believe stuff now, real life stuff, right? I said, Kefa, this is real life stuff. We're going to do this, and I'm going to show you if this worked or not. And I brought the result to Kefa, and I said, Kefa, look, I said this will happen in 10 days. I said this will happen at the end of, this month, I said, today is the 9th day. We are not even reached the 20th day yet, and it happened on the 9th day. And Kefa saw first-hand example of something that I did successfully, manifested, brought into my existence without spending a penny on it. That's how powerful my method is. That's how powerful it is. And that's why I was saying to my students, and those of you listening on the internet who may not be my students, if you follow me, you will never regret. You will never ever regret following Rabbi Simon, because you will always be thankful and grateful that you came to know me, because I will not be charging you $30,000. I'll not be charging you $3,000, but I will give you something that you will take for life, and you will benefit from for life. Let me give you an example. I was standing at an airport in Chicago not so long ago, last year. I was standing and I wanted to test myself. Can I do this? So I stood in an economy zone, and I said to myself, I am going to be served by the first class zone. And I was there, and I said to myself, let's see, Simon, if you can do this right now, you can bring it. So I did this. I stood there, I said, I'm going to be served by the first class zone. There was nobody on first class. The first class queue was empty. Nobody was even standing at the desk. And there was people lining up at the economy zone. I was about to embark a flight to the Middle East, and I said, okay, let's put this to the test. We're going to test me right now. So I said, I'm going to be served by the first class zone, not by the economy zone. But 5 minutes later, somebody arrived at the first class desk, and they pointed to me and they said, would you like to come and be served by us, sir? And I said, sure. And I went straight to them, and I was served by the first class zone. Just as I said to myself, I'm going to be served by them. That is how powerful my method is. See, there's a difference. I didn't have to wait 3 weeks to do that. I didn't wait a whole year to do that either. I did it instantly like this, in 5 minutes. So when you apply what you learn from me, you don't have to wait eons and eons. Oh, Rabbi is not working, or something's not up, and what am I doing wrong? You don't have to do that. If you really apply the method, you will get the result as well. I'm not saying everything is different. Now remember, everything is different. We have to weigh oranges with oranges. We have to compare oranges with oranges, apples with apples. So some things that are there will occur in days. Other things will occur in weeks. And some of the other things will happen in months. And some things will happen in years. It depends where you are and what you're asking. Depends where you are. Adelia is my witness, right? Adelia, you're going to have to ask this question to your husband, because you are the person who's another witness. I said to your husband last year, standing in the Middle East, I said to him, and I didn't know at that time that he was going to America, by the way. I didn't even know that he was having a relationship with you. At that point, I didn't even know that. I said to him, you are going to be standing in America, and I'm going to see you over there. And the man looked at my face. He specially called me over. He specially called me over for a dinner, and he gave me tithe in the Middle East. He said to me, Rabbi, I heard a lot about you. I want to give you a tithe. I said, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to dinner, and I want to bless you. I said, listen, since you called me, since you did this kindness to me in the Middle East, I am going to tell you something that I don't often do with people. I said, you're going to be standing in North America, and you're going to be working in North America, and you're going to be living in North America. That is my guarantee to you now today. And he looked at my face and he said, wow, he said, I believe you, Rabbi. And I said, you will be. Listen to this. Few days ago, Adelia came to me and said to me, her husband to be has been granted granted a visa into the country. I said this last year in August. I told this man, August. Now August to this April is how many months? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months ago I told him that. 8 months ago. You show me one person on this earth today who can do that. Show me one person who can tell somebody a prophecy and bring it to pass in 8 months. That man, by the way, is going to arrive in America very soon. So I'm very happy for Adelia. I hope, in fact, I don't hope, I'm certain, I'm absolutely certain, Adelia, that you're going to have a beautiful life with him. He's a great man, he's a humble guy, and you're going to have a great life together with him. And I'm so happy for both of you, so happy for you that he will be standing in Miami Beach, is where I saw him standing. So he'll be standing in Miami Beach. So, Baruch Hashem Yahweh, that is the power of the Kohen in the gate. Don't ever underestimate the Kohen in the gate. The Kohen in the gate has a lot of power because it's granted to him by the maker of this universe. So, whoever I can help, I will help. Whoever I can help, I will help. And I'm not going to stand back and say, well, no, I'm not going to help this person. I will do whatever I can for anybody or my families. Israel, you are my families. The nation, the people, you are my families. You are my blood. I will help you. Wherever I can, I will help you. And so it is so great, that God has put us in a position that we can be of assistance to each other, because that is what the priesthood is about. The priesthood is not about just titles. It's about works. It's about blessings to the people of Israel. This is very important. Having said that, this is why I look at the stories in the Bible, and I look at the stories and I learn a lot of important lessons. I was speaking with somebody, another one of my students in Australia, a recent student, and she basically told me that she was struggling a lot. She was struggling a lot in putting her papers down for. She's doing a law degree, by the way. She was studying in the law. She's studying in the law degree. She was telling me that she was struggling a lot with assignments, getting late, and procrastination, and something was holding her back, like something negative, and she was struggling to do it. So I said to her, okay, so let's do the karmic. First we did the karma for her. The karmic energy, the negative energy that was affecting her, first I dealt with that. As you know, that you have to lay down a equivalent offering of $200 of a lamb to be said in the father's name and his children's name. So I had to do that first. Then the next, what I did, I stood and I prayed for that lady, and I said, okay, now you're going to have doors of infinite abundance about to open to you, and you're going to have all restrictions removed from you. And then she reported back. She reported back to me. This has only been a week. It's not been long. I haven't known her a long time. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at most. And she told me, she said, I don't know what happened. She said, something happened. And I start seeing changes now. I start seeing that I don't have that procrastination. I'm not getting this negative pullback. I'm not getting, I'm able to do my assignments. I'm able to focus now. So she said, I'm already beginning to see things shift in my life. So I said, a lot more will happen. And listen to this. If you think she's some young whippersnapper, she's not. She's 63 years old. And she's studying a law degree. You know what I told her? I said, you're going to make a great lawyer. Even at 65, you're going to make a great lawyer. So, my goodness. Imagine, right? Imagine the blessings that can come your way. Age is not even the question. Don't even question your age. Because age is not even the question. It's what can be done for you is the question. So having said that, I thought that was a great testimony. I thought it would encourage you. A lot of you will be encouraged by that, because a lot of the times people say, hey, I'm 70 years old and what of my life now? No, it doesn't matter if you're 70 years old. Your life could still be great, but you have to have that attitude, the right way to bring about the changes in your life. Happiness is for everybody. But the problem is that a lot of people don't want to follow the methods. They just want to have happiness, but without doing the work. You have to do some work. And that some work that you do will help you bring that happiness into your lives. And I'm very happy that I have students, Eddie's a young man, he's a young guy, right? And, I have young students and I have students who are mature age students. And I'm happy that I have these people in my life who I can help, and they can be great benefit to their families, to their personal lives, to their, they can build great families. And what an exciting time that is. What an exciting time. that you can benefit your families no matter what age you are. So the Master Yehoshua said, ask. First he said knock. Then he said ask and believe and you can receive it. You see, the first part that he mentioned is what a lot of people don't do, is knock. Knock on the door. And the door will be open to you. A lot of people don't want to knock on the door. They're just still waiting. They're waiting for the door to open for themselves. So I think a lot of you listeners out there who are listening maybe on the internet to this particular event, a lot of you are not knocking on the door. You have to knock on the door to receive an answer. Don't expect the door to open without knocking on it first. So, and don't see God as an enemy. God is your friend. God is love. God wants to benefit everybody. And so this is why when we read our stories in the Bible of our families, our ancient history, we see in there ancient wisdom from stories that teaches us what happens and what not happens. And in Lot's case, as I mentioned earlier, Lot's particular case, absolutely, your Messiah, I don't care if you're 89 years old, I don't care if you're 99 years old, you can do whatever at your age. I spoke with a student of mine not too long ago, and maybe I'll give you this testimony as well for your benefit. My student's mother is, I believe, in her 90s. And she came to me, and I think she's in her, maybe, I don't know, she's in her 60s maybe. So she came to me, she said to me, Rabbi, I have this problem. My mother is suffering from such and such illness. And the hospitals haven't been able to help because this is a virus that she is suffering from, and the virus is affecting her body, and she was fearful that she might die as a result of this particular illness. What could she do? So I gave her a method. I taught her the method. I said, this is what you need to do, and then I want you to report back to me in 30 days or less, whenever you feel like it. So she applied the method I gave to her, and she came back to me. She said, well, what about, because first she said to me, but my mother is there, my brothers are there, my sisters are there, I don't have good relationship with my brothers, sisters, I can't say this, I can't say that. I said, stop. Let's just stop. I said, you don't need to say nothing to your mother, nothing to your brothers, nothing to your sisters. I'm going to give you a method, pat down. You're going to apply this method in your quietness, and your mother's going to get affected by it. She's going to be healed. And so, by the way, she had a C. diff virus. I don't know if you guys know what C. diff is, but apparently it can be really hard. It can be really debilitating. It can knock you down. It can, debilitate you. It can take your energy out, and it can make you run down very fast, and people can die from it as well. So this woman was aged. She wasn't a young whippersnapper. She was 90-something years old. So that's why this daughter of hers was worried. So we applied the method. I said, okay. I was, standing in Costco's car park to answer the phone. I was going to Costco to do some shopping, and this lady, student of mine, phoned me, and I had to come out of Costco, take a call, and I was sitting in the car park and answering a call what to do. So I gave her the method. I said, this is what you need to do. Go ahead, do it. And there's a couple of things I want you to address. There's a couple of things I wanted her to take, a couple of food supplements. I said, a couple of foods I want you to make sure that your mother takes. And so she did. She went away, she did that. She came back to me less than a month ago, when that thing happened, of course it was a few months ago, and she told me that her mother was completely healed. That's how powerful the instructions were. So it is not about age, and it's not about height, and it's not about color. Adelia is saying that I give thanks to Abba Yahweh because I will be getting a raise from my job, and I remember that HaKohen said, if we ask for anything in our journal, Abba Yahweh will answer, and I've only been in my job for almost a year. Baruch Hashem Yahweh for that, Adelia. Exactly as I told you, keep writing your script, and everything you write about yourself, the blessings you write for yourself will be granted to you. So, having said that, it's very important that we follow the methods that you've been taught. Follow the methods, and the rest will be history. My book is simply the book I've written. Maybe I should have written 15 years ago. Maybe I should have written it first. But now, I guess now was the time for me to write this book. Because if I had written it 15 years ago, I would have had information from 15 years ago that I would have put in there, that what was going on back then. Maybe it would have had to help a lot of people. But again, I think sometimes it wasn't the appointed time for me to do that. I had to complete my projects, the Hidden Truths Hebraic Scrolls Bible first, and the Siddur, and other books that I had to do those projects first. And to be able to give you a beautiful text to read, to study, and to glean wisdom from, because the Bible is full of wisdom. The Bible is a beautiful book, God's Word, and God's Word is very, very important to study and to read, and it greatly bless you and bless your lives. So, every day choose a portion of the Bible that you wish to study, and concentrate on it. This is why I've written so many books. I speak about certain Psalms in my book, the power to have prayers answered. And I speak about those Psalms, that what those Psalms can do for you in your life. So it's very important that you study those particular books and apply it to your life. So having said that, we were discussing the different facets, and we wanted to talk about Jacob, our forefather as well. In passing, of course, we want to mention him. And we see that in one particular place in the book of Bereshith, Genesis, I want to relay a story to you. Genesis chapter 28, and it says there, his father Isaac, he calls Jacob, and he says to him that he basically blesses him, and he says to him, go to Padan Aram in Iraq, to your uncle's house, and to your mother's father's house, and also his uncle's house. And he says, get yourself a wife from there, from the daughters of Lavan, your mother's brother. In other words, make sure you marry your niece from that house. And then he says that may El Shaddai, the mighty power, bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may be an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessings of Abraham to you and your descendants with you. So he goes off towards Iraq, and he stops in the way to a place, and when he stops in that particular way, he wants to obey his father. He doesn't want to marry any local women who are probably not right for him. And he comes, it says that if we go on to the passage, and it says that in verse 10, and now Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and his top reached to the Shamaim, to the heavens, and there the Malachim of Elohim were ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham your father, Elohim of Yitzhak, the land on which you lie, I will give to you and to your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread abroad to the west and the east, to the north and the south, and in your seed all the mishpachot, the families of the earth, shall be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. Then Yaakov spoke from his sleep and said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the Beit of Elohim, and this is a gate of Shemaim, the gate of heaven. By the way, on the one of the questions that I ask is that when he saw his dreams, this is called Jacob's ladder verses. I gave Rabbi Kefa a Jacob's ladder situation. I gave him a good situation which was about Jacob's ladder, and I told Rabbi Kefa to do something, a particular exercise regarding Jacob's ladder, in which he sees 22 rungs of the ladder, and he is to climb this ladder up, and he is to then see certain things, look out for certain things, and then Kefa was to repeat that exercise for 7 days, and Kefa reported back to me that he did see what I told him he will see within 7 days, which was interesting. Yeah, it works. So that was another exercise in point. But what I wanted to point out in this particular instance with this ladder, by the way, something of crucial interest is on the philosophical. We're going to look on the philosophical side now on the ladder. Philosophically, Jacob saw the angels ascending and then descending. Now let me just read that passage for you so you don't think I'm making it up. It says, he came to a certain place. This is Genesis chapters 28 and verses 11. Mark it in your Bibles. You could go back and read it later as well. He came to a certain place and he stayed there all night, because the sun had set, and he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to the heavens, to the Shemaim. And there the Malachim of Elohim, the Malachim, the angels of God, were ascending and descending on it. Now, I asked this question years ago. I said, how can Jacob's ladder, how can angels go up and then come down? In other words, surely, if the angels live in the heavens, they have to come down first. Why would they be going up first and then coming down? So I asked this question years ago. I was, reading this passage, and I was like, there's got to be something wrong with this. Angels are supposedly going up before they're coming down. Why? I asked that $1 million question. I said, why? I said to God, why is it that angels are going up and coming down, but not going down and then going back up? So what is this all about? What is this trying to teach us? So here is a question for you. Why is that? Why are the angels going up first and coming down after, whereas shouldn't it be the angels supposed to come down first and then go up? In other words, how can the angels be going from the earth to heavens when we didn't hear about them descending first? See the anomaly? The anomaly is, how did that happen? Eddie is saying that Jacob already had angels with him. Yeah, that's true. He had angels with him. But in this particular instance, he saw these angels go up and come down, and vice versa, and his head is on a stone. Remember, his head at this point, he's sleeping on the floor, probably on some kind of a cloth, and he's put this little stone on his head, and so on and so forth. Yael is saying that it's people, not angels. So, if he's sleeping on a stone, and angels are going up, then coming down, then going up, because he sees a ladder. You see, he sees a ladder. Why do the angels need a ladder? That's the second question. Why do the angels need a ladder? Angels don't need ladders to climb up and down. That was the second question. So these are important matters of wisdom that we learn from scriptures. Why do angels need ladders? Why do angels need to go up and go down? Rabbi Zechariah says we are in the earth now. Absolutely, we're in the earth now. But why do angels that we know are beings, angelic beings that can fly without wings or with wings? Because there's two types of there's different types of angels. Some can fly with wings, some can fly without. They're like your Superman, can just jump up and they start flying. Yemisia saying, I think angels are going up to bring heaven to us on earth, Mishpacha. Okay, so that's one answer from Yemisia. Yes, Adelia, he did talk about karma. Eddie saying it connects the spirit heaven realm and the earth realm. Okay, alright, that's a good answer. Anybody else wants to have a shot? Now, picture this. There is a stone. There is Jacob sleeping on it. And there is the angels going up and down through a ladder. Some kind of a ladder could be some kind of a system, like a elevator system that takes you up and brings you down. Like a portal. That's right. It's like a portal. So it's a portal up and down. Here is a little answer philosophically. Philosophically, angels can only, because we're talking about angels that come down, than angels that go up. In other words, they bring down blessings to you or a message, and then they go back up. What here is philosophically being explained is this. Listen to this carefully. I don't know if you know that medically they have weighed people's head. Medically they weigh people's head and they say it weighs heavier than a stone. Head by itself weighs very heavy because it's got the brain in it, the skull, the other things that are in the head, and then apparently it weighs a lot, apparently by scientific methods. So here is the deal. Philosophically, what was happening was Jacob was tapping into his subconscious mind. Jacob was tapping into his subconscious mind, which would make the connection to the heavens above. So what he saw, the angels ascending and descending, were actually from his subconscious mind making connection up and down, which we might today's modern terms we may say neural pathways. But so these are like neural pathways. So these angels, there's a number of ways to see these angels. Number of ways. Number one is like Eddie said, they were guardian angels. Secondly, there could be protection angels for the person, because everybody is assigned. We all know that we are assigned a number of angels to us, who protect us, who guard us, who kind of show us the way and mind us from troubles. So in this particular instance, Jacob was connecting to the heavenly realm through his head, which would be termed the stone. Because otherwise, listen, if you don't use your head, what is it? It's nothing but a stone. If you don't use your head, if you don't use your brains, if you're like everybody else, hoping for hope, if you're hoping for hope, then nothing will happen. So therefore the Word of God, which is the Master Yehoshua, Jesus, or Yahweh or Jehovah, as whichever way you pronounce it, the Word of God lives inside your subconscious. That is the connecting part to the heavenlies. If the Word of God is there, you tap into it. When you tap into it, you're going to see angels ascending and descending. Why? Because you're asking things to be brought down from the heavens. So what do the angels have to do? They have to first go up, then they have to bring it back down. In other words, you may say, I want a house. Well, the angel's going to go up and the angel's going to come down. Philosophically meaning that your things are going to be manifested in this world for you, using that method. So that's a philosophical method. And Jacob, also what Jacob did was another important portion. Let me take you to that portion, because a lot of people say, hey Rabbi, why are you doing this for? And isn't that mumbo jumbo? Isn't that magic? And I said, no, this is not magic and this is not mumbo jumbo. This is good magic. And this is a good magic that Jacob did. It says that when he woke up, let's look at this. In verse 16, then Yaakov awoke from his sleep and said, surely Yahweh is in this place. What place? In his skull, in his subconscious. Yahweh is in that place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid. Then what does he do after that? It says he rose up early in the morning, he took the stone that he had put at his side, at his head, set it as a pillar, and poured oil on it. So, one of the techniques that I taught you was to take oil and pour it on a candle. That's another one, Rabbi Benaiah. Rabbi Benaiah is saying, Hakon, could you please tell us how angels communicate with us through numbers? Yeah, I will talk about that as well. So maybe we'll dedicate a whole session to it, Rabbi Benaiah, because there's a lot in there. So in this particular instance, what happens is that I told you, take a candle, and I told you to drop 7 drops of oil from the virgin olive oil. It's got to be pure virgin olive oil, and I wanted you to drop it on the candle. I wanted you to drop it on 4 sides, 1 drop north, west, east, south, and 3 in the middle. So you get 7 in total. And I wanted you to do that with a candle. And I told you to get a candle that is darker color. You could have a red, you could have a brown, you could have a blue, purple, those kind of colors, dark colors, real dark colors. And not white, by the way, not white color. So I wanted you to do that. And then I wanted to do something else. The method I gave you was exactly this method to bring in blessings into your life. That's why I told you that method. And that method, by the way, arises out of Jacob's dream experience. Rabbi Kefa is saying that you will see results in your life, but you must be tapped in. Jacob was meditating. Note, the latter event happened at night. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Rabbi Kefa. Very, very important observation, Rabbi Kefa, that the method, involved meditating. You've been taught meditation. A method happened at night is when you tap into your subconscious self, where the Word of God resides, where your connection is made to God. And hence why it is important to follow certain methods for you to be able to achieve the desired results. But without the method, you're just going to be hoping for hope and nothing's going to happen. So I say to people, don't use the term hope. Hope is a negative, by the way. Maybe you didn't know that. Hope is a negative. A lot of our people will use this wording, or a lot of you people out there will say, I hope it goes well. And I say no. You say, I am certain that it will go well for you. Because hope, it's part of our vocabulary, but it's a negative. And a lot of people don't realize that. So, whenever you use your vocabulary, try to use the word certain, absolutely certain, etc., so that you put a force behind it. So, for instance, you meet a friend, and the friend you meet your friend, and you say goodbye to your friend, and the friend says, I hope I will see you again soon. And you say, no, not hope, I am certain I will see you again soon. Now when you said the word certain, you have put a force behind it, and that force is what's going to carry you. Because if you say, I hope, then that hope is a negative, by the way. It's a superlative indeed. It's a confidence. Yeah, that's his confidence as well. When we depart from our friends, we say shalom, shalom. Normally, when we meet somebody, we say shalom, means peace unto you. And when we depart from our friends or people that we love, we say shalom, shalom. Why do we say shalom, shalom twice? The reason why we say shalom, shalom twice with an emphasis is that I will see you again. That's why we do that. It's a superlative for us. We will see you again. Hence why. So with that in mind, Rabbi Kefa, I'm going to hand it to you, and I'm going to say thanks for everyone who's listening to this particular lecture. I hope it all goes well for you. If you don't know about the book Rabbi spoke about earlier, there is a new book out there. It should be released tomorrow on Amazon, and it's already released in Lulu Press. It's called The Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law, Default Mode for Humanity. Today, have a great day, a great week ahead. Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom to you.
Yeah, Chadasha, Kohen, if I could be heard, can I get a 1? Okay, luxury class, you can come with your question, no problem there. Bring your question forward. When appropriate, now is fine. I haven't fired up the lecture yet. You can state your question if it's pertinent, definitely to what Kohen was talking about, dealing with yourself, because we all want to fix ourselves. You don't have to wait. You can state your question now. Open forum here, no problem. You can text in your question, or I can give you the mic if you want the mic, because I know you like to. You have the ability to use the mic. Okay, wasn't related to the lecture. Okay, it can wait then. Okay, no worries. We'll keep it going. Okay, some key points that I'd like to reiterate if you didn't know. Let me tell you something. I've heard this from one of our spiritual leaders that one of our mentors said this. I think it's very true. Kohen just gave you a great example of it. When we reference the English language. How many of you know that English language is one of the weakest languages to connect to the universes? It's weak. You know why? Because the English language is flawed. I was like, wow, amazing. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because it's the English language, right, that if not used properly can really hamper your abundance of a life. So you must be very careful with the words that you use and your word those words. I can give you a great example with that word hope. I mean, Christianity, that's their bedrock, I can guarantee you. How many of you have been a Christian and they talk about hope a lot? Oh, I hope this. I'm telling you, I was one. I know. They hinge. I mean, it's like their cornerstone. That word hope, and I mean that word hope is literally it's a negative when it comes to the universe. It truly is a negative, and it prevents you from living any kind of quality of a life. You understand what I'm saying? So, one of our spiritual leaders, you know, as he was talking, you know, a law of attraction teacher, I would call him, he said this, and I think this is very true. The English language is one of the weakest languages. It has a lot of flaws in it. It's not a perfect language. As a matter of fact, it's very imperfect when it comes to your ability to connect, to tap in, like Jacob, our forefather, did. He tapped in to the heavens. So it's very, very important that what you speak out of your mouth, you really got to go through it in your mind a few times, make some edits, make some adjustments, and make sure what you're saying is not negating you, but it's actually it's propelling you. It's pushing you forward. You see? And what we're going to talk about in the spirit of the Passover, in our history, and our rich history, because our Kohen is right, our history is so rich. And this brought to my mind a question that was asked to me this week in my meditations was this. Think about this question for a minute. You see, let me get it. I wrote it down, Rabbi Benia. It's this. Can one have spiritual progress without physical progress? That's a question. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to state the statement again, the question. Can one have spiritual progress without physical progress? Think about that. If you need me to state it again, just let me know, because I will. But I think this is such an important question that we need to ask ourselves. Because as I look at the world, and as I a student of nature, as I study nature, and I study the nature of human beings, a lot of folks run into this problem. Rabbi Benia says, what did Jacob return? Who did Jacob return his tithe to when he made a vow after the latter event? Who did he return his tithe to when he made the latter event? I don't understand what you're saying there, Rabbi Benia. You mean where did the money go? I mean, who did he give it to? You mean? Help me out there for a minute with that one there. What we're discussing, I'm sorry, before Rabbi Benia's question, I'm going to say to the priest in the gate, that would be Shem. During the time of, because Shem was still alive during the time of Abraham. I mean, during the time of Jacob, and also during the time of Abraham as well, as the tithe from Abraham went to Shem as well. I mean, Shem, my goodness, Shem had long life and some. He lived a long, prosperous life indeed, a life of definitely abundance. He saw many generations. I mean, my goodness, Baruch Hashem. I mean, whoever said Baruch Hashem, that's great. Shem's name is truly a powerful name. Truly a powerful name. He may have been considered very old, but yet he was still a young whippersnapper. You see, because for us, age has no relevance. See, a lot of times, again, this is one of the misnomers in civilization. Especially, I guess, I don't think the East has so much a problem with it. But here in the West, because on the East, I mean the East. Because my wife, I mean, they don't really harp too much on age, like how old you are. They look at the quality of the individual. But here in the West, age seems to be very important and almost like, well, at this age, you're conditioned to do this. At this age, you're going to do this. When you hit 60s, you're going to do this. When you hit your 70s, then you're going to do this. And you're going to croak. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I think age seems to be a big factor in the West. But in the East, I mean, you just live life. If you live life, and you live life now, and you live life now, and you're living life now, and you are elder, and you know, it seems like the more time you have on this earth, the more respect is given towards you. You know, because you're seen as an elder statesman. You're not seen as this old lady, this old man, he kicking you to the curb and all this, because that's what you get in the West. You get kicked to the curb and, you know, you're ignored. No, in the East it's totally different. You're seen as a statesman, a stateswoman. You're seen as being very wise, having much wisdom. You see, why do women in the East Why do women in the East prefer to marry older men? Because they understand that they're wise. They understand that they have wisdom. They understand that they're very mature. Now, the West is slowly catching up with that, and you find that out. I'd like to look at the demographics on that. The differences in age with marriage these days in the West. You may see that the ages are not as close as you thought they were, because in the West, what's the mentality? You want to marry somebody close to your age, right? That used to be the mainstay. And you want to marry somebody either close to your age or younger than you. But they're starting to find out that that's not working. That these marriages don't last. But I guarantee you the numbers will probably be so much better when there's an age gap to where the male may be significantly, as they consider, older, maybe 10 years, 20 years older than the woman. You find out that these relationships work. And then they're still going to complain about that, because what are they going to call that woman? In the West, they'll call that woman a gold digger. Oh, you're a gold digger. You're only with that man because you want his money, because he's very old, and you just going to get his money and blah, blah, blah. But that's wisdom. That young woman, there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in that for that because that young woman wants a man that's what? Responsible, reliable, respectful, that has wisdom, that's, has a foundation, very wise, has been around the block a few times, and can teach you a few things, and really is experienced in the world and worldly events and how to get on with life. So you'll find that out. So for you younger women, aspiring younger women there on YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, you've been having some rocky relationship with somebody your age, you may want to look for an older man. This is good wisdom in this. You may want to look for an older man. An older man that can benefit you. This is what you may want to look for. An older man. Older man. It just depends on what you're into, but I'm just saying, if you're running into relationship issues with somebody your same age, maybe an older man, look for somebody, think outside of the box. You see, you don't think conventional, think unconventional, Mishpah. That's been the miracle for this week, is to think You see, when you start to, your mind and your thought process start to formulate things, that's conventional thinking, because you think things are going to happen this way, and if they don't happen this way, then get thee behind me, Satan, because the devil is in it, because it didn't happen to me this way. And I love the way Hakohin explains in his book that he wrote on the perfect law versus the law of attraction, because he explains this, and this is very important, that a lot of people fall on that. They'll make the devil the scapegoat when the devil's over there sitting in the corner minding business. You know what I mean? But everything is, it's the devil. This is evil, blah, 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 because you're thinking with your conventional way of thinking, instead of thinking, oh my goodness, that may be the title of another great book, Conventional versus Consciousness. You see, when you're thinking conventional, my goodness, it's like, okay, whatever my mind is formulating, then that's how, whatever I'm thinking now, that's what it's going to be, which is true. And see, the problem is with most people is that their thinking is skewed, because the thinker or the thoughts are what's steering the ship, not the person, not your I am steering the ship. I am has been put in the lowest parts of the ship, closed up, lock and key on lockdown. And what's running the roost is your mind and your thoughts are running your ship. And your ship is being navigated by that. And until you jump ship, get off that ship, then you're gonna go down with the ship. Because believe me, the storm is gonna come. So your thoughts, it seems like every day is a storm for some folks. Because why? The ship is being steered by your thoughts. And your thoughts are just like out there flapping. Or your mind is controlling you. You're under that mind control. That's the worst places you can be. And now I know everyone in this room has realized that. It's not a great state to be in mind control. Some of you were there, and now you're freed from that. And that's just really awesome for you, right? Because you're living in the now. And you understand, now you are free. Now you are whole. Now you are abundant. Now That was my song of the week, by the way. That was a new song that came to me this week that I manifested in my life. It's a song called Now. 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 Isn't it awesome? Now. I am. Now. I am. Now I am whole. Now I am peace. Now I am love. Now I am joy. Now I am wealth. Now I am health. Now, are you getting it? That's a beautiful song, and I've been singing it all this week. Now, see, you're training your subconscious, you're training your conscious mind, yourself in a place where you want and desire to be, not where your mind is telling you are. Now I am wealth. Now I am health. Now I am abundant. You see that? Do you see it? Now. Sing that song this week. That's another one off our track. That's another one. Over the infinite but the songs. You begin to put yourself in these songs, and you do yourself a great service going forward. You'll be able to deal with your situations. So back to our question at hand that we stated earlier. Here's the question again. Can one have spiritual progress without physical progress? You see, because what you've been taught by the mainstream religion and all this other mumbo-jumbo is that to have spiritual progress, you must what? You must digress from the physical. You must wear those old clothes. You must drive that bango. And you'll be merited spiritually. Your spiritual meter will increase, you see. Rabbi Brit says, cannot eat a spiritual burger. You see? But these are the things that they tell you. This is the mindset that majority of the world has been conditioned in. And yet you want to run the Joneses under the bus. But it's the Joneses, their visions fulfilled. Everything that you aspire in the Joneses is what you don't have because you've been told that thing, that's evil. Oh, having that new car, that's of the devil. Oh, that new house, oh, get thee behind me, Satan. You're going to hell. Because you're not concentrating on heaven. Well, heaven is now, but do you see that's what we run into. That is the biggest wall that you can hit. And it'll prevent you, it'll stagnate you. It'll totally paralyze you from living any kind of abundance of any kind of life. And your life is so minuscule, it's so mundane, and you take your last breath and you realize, wow, I made a mistake. I missed the mark. I missed my mark. I wasn't supposed to be living like some mortar or some monk. I'm supposed to be having an abundance of a life. I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to be at peace. How can you be at peace when your stomach is growling? Even Judaism understands that. They'll go in there and feed you first before they'll start giving you the laws of Moses. Let's take care of your physical needs. That will build your man. You gotta eat, man. Rabbi Brit says, go get you a burger. Let's put a burger in your stomach. Then we can begin to talk about your I am and who you are. But you can't focus on your subconscious and your conscious when you're unconscious and you're hungry. The two are intertwined. Spirit man, physical man. Spirit woman, physical woman. They're intertwined. You see, this is why it's so easy to do when you really begin to study human nature. All you got to do is look at the physical manifestation. You can tell how the spiritual side is just by looking at what's going on in the physical. And the Joneses are doing quite well spiritually because they're having everything that they want. And they're working for it. And they're getting it. Why are you going to knock the Joneses? Oh, the Joneses are going to hell, Rabbi. Jones is meaning your next door neighbors. If your last name is Jones, no offense whatsoever. Jones just seems to be a common name here. I don't know if it is in the East, but here in the West, Jones is a common name. Keep it up with the Joneses. The Joneses are making and meeting their mark. They're happy. They have peace. They have love. Oh, they have a new house. They're happy. They have that nice car. Oh, they're so happy. Children happy. Oh, everybody's happy. And I say, hey, I'm with you, Joneses. Right with you. Be happy. Have peace. Have love. And then give back. Help others. Like you all are helping the widow. Chadasha. I say thank you. Humbly for helping. Rabbi Brit says, I give praise and thanks and thanksgiving to the great and eternal I am. For the RV I picked up earlier this month. Happy, happy, happy. Oh, great, great, Rabbi Brit. I know you were talking about that RV a while back. Now look, you've manifested that RV, and now it has come forth. Manifestation is real. The RV is real. You don't have to wait till you get to heaven to get that RV. The RV is here. It's now. Now you are successful. Now you are whole. Now you are health. Now you are wealth. I am wealth. I am health. I am abundance. I am happy. RV makes you happy? Then RV it, baby. You be the number one RVer that the RV community has ever imagined. Indeed. Now. Do it now. And I congratulate you, and I am truly joyful and happy for you. RVing. You do this and you be happy. All of you. You have scripts that you're writing too. They will become fulfilled. You just got to tap in. Make all of your dreams, you can make them come true. You don't have to wait for them to come true. Make them come true now. But it requires a total different mindset, a mind shift. It can control your mind, put your thoughts in the right place. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with thinking. You need to think. You need to dream. You need to have visions. But more importantly, you need to start imagining. Rabbi Brit imagined that RV. Went and touched it, maybe test drove it, felt it, did his research. He put that in his imagination. And imagination brought forth manifestation. Because he imagined it. And he kept on. Every day he imagined that RV. Oh, when I get that RV, oh man, I can imagine the first burger, and it's going to be so good. I can see my RV parked at the RV camp, and I'm barbecuing. Me and the wife, we just barbecuing. We're having, oh my goodness. He's just imagining all these things, and now look, the RV is here. Baruch Hashem. Thank you to the universes. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God above. Thank you for your omnipotent love. Thank you. This is what it's about, gratitude. Rabbi Brit is giving thanks, and he's celebrating, and we all should be celebrating with him. Now, he can mark that one off his vision board. Now, next vision up. Next dream up. Next manifestation up. That's what it's about. This is what it's about. Doing what you love. Doing what you like. Doing what makes you happy. What makes you happy may not be driving an RV, living in an RV. What makes you happy may be living in a big house. What makes you happy may be, I don't know, whatever it may be. Who's to say? Nobody can not tell what makes you happy. Only you know what makes you happy. What gives you... Because Pharaoh, what makes you happy? What makes Pharaoh happy is looking outside at the children playing on their bikes. That makes Pharaoh happy. And whatever makes you happy, you do it. And you call it in and you manifest. And you attract it and you bring it in. And you be happy. This is meeting your mark. Not running around here complaining and suffering, calling yourself the suffering servant, thinking that, that the grass is greener once you get to heaven. No, heaven is now. Heaven is right now. But sometimes, and the majority of the time, it's going to take somebody outside of yourself to help you see right. That's the pattern throughout all history. So now I think we've blown that question away. Can you have spiritual progress with physical progress? No, you can't. That's a misnomer. There's no way that that can happen. Yet religions are telling you, oh, you got to focus on your spirit man, while your physical man is suffering. What is that? What is that, Mishpachah? That's living a lesson life, a life of lack. Nobody in this room wants to live a life of lack. Nobody wants to do that. I know nobody. I mean, it's default setting is not to live a life of lack. But we've been taught, we've been conditioned that lack is good. When lack totally makes you a loser. A loser in life. But don't leave the L word that's coming out of it. Totally makes you a loser in life. If you're going to sit around here just lacking. No, I'm not. And if you think that way, no problem. Just begin to sing the now song. Now I am abundance. Now I am whole. Now I am wealth. Now I am health. And you know, those words will begin to permeate, break through your foolish thought process, totally destroy mind mode, and you'll get into your subconscious and your conscious mode. And it'll get rooted in there. You'll be like, now, yeah, now I am. Now I am. Now I am. My goodness, that gets to the root, to the core of your very self. That inner man, that inner woman. My goodness. And then you'll feel yourself changing into the Hulk. You'll become not Steve Urkel, but you'll become the Hulk. You see? That's real. That's real life stuff here, Mr. Hart. We're not talking mumbo jumbo here, no magic here. This is real life stuff. It changes the way you think, your thought process. You need to open up. You see, you need to become conscious instead of what? Unconscious. We talked about that before. That needs to happen in your life. But, you know, we don't do it for whatever rhyme or reason. Another thing that I noticed this week is that I see a lot of blame. And I say, what a shame. A lot of blame. What a shame. You sit there blaming this. You blame it on that. You blame it on the other. You blame it on this. He talks about it in the book. You even blaming it on the dog. The dog is not going to do anything. And blah. I mean, what a blame. And it's such a shame because you live a life of less, of lack, of lesson. And then you become the total loser. And you say, don't worry, I'm going to lose now, but I'm going to gain in the world to come. What a waste. What a waste of a wonderful life. What a waste. We're not here to talk religion. If you're here for religion, you're in the wrong place. But if you want life, you're in the right place. If you want a life that's abundant, of what you desire and what you aspire, and quit being told what you cannot do, and reprogram your way of thinking of what you can do. You can be successful. You are. You don't have to can because you are. Can the can. I am successful now. I have wealth now. I am happy now. Even though you may be depressed as all depressing be and taking all the man's medication that's out there by Big Pharma, I am happy. I am joy. You'll break through all of this mumbo jumbo and all the cloudiness will become clear in your life. You begin to be able to see and have a great appreciation and awesome gratitude for this beautiful thing that we call life. Beautiful. Life is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Some may not see it that way, but we leave it to it. But life is so beautiful. So beautiful. And we don't have time for the naysayers. I don't even give them energy. I don't give them no energy. Because, you know, it's a waste of good energy. I'm not here to waste my energy. There's too many things that I'd like to attract that I will attract. that I am attracting now to focus on the negativity. Life is so powerful. You must see life that way. You must begin to see that this is where the change occurs. It occurs within. So in the spirit of the Passover, in the spirit of our history, I began to ask myself Passover thoughts. Passover thoughts came to me this week. And I began to ask myself, well, what have I learned from the Passover experience in our history? As we celebrate this annually, once a year, we remember. The question that you need to ask yourself as well is the same question. What have you learned from the Passover experience in our history? What have you learned from it? Let's start asking ourselves some ground roots questions that are, so very important and vital. Why? Well, you read the Passover, which all of you have read. I know you've read the story and our history of our Passover. What have you learned from the Passover that can affect your life in 2019? Anybody tell me? Please tell me. What have you learned from the Passover experience in our history? What have you learned? I mean, I thought about this. I was like, our forefathers left behind a wonderful history for us to study and learn from. But truly, what have we learned? What is the purpose of learning our history, Mishpah? Anybody tell me? What is the purpose of us learning our history? When you pick up your Bibles and you read them. What is the purpose of that? Come on, let's get to the meat and potatoes here, to the grits and to the grain. Luxury classes, our Creator protects His people. Oh, indeed. But let's get deeper than that. Let's get beyond the little dog and pony show, and let's get to the meat and potatoes. When we look at your life, it says to remember where we came from and to be better. Better at what? What are we trying to? You see, I asked myself this question in my meditation. I was like, well, wow. Well, what is all, the Passover in our history, what does it mean? Adia says to serve. Serve what? You see? The now, Torah says, the now. How does our Passover and our history, help us with the now? When you look at the situation. Yael 1:10 says, deliver us from my personal bondage so that I can have abundant life now. Rabbi Brit says, prosper in all things. How does the Passover experience help us now in 2019? What do we learn from that? And at the end of the day, I'll sum it up like this. Kohen was mentioned this as well. And we don't get together and have a s'mores meeting over what we're gonna talk about on the Shabbat. We never do that. But I notice I always follow my teacher in his thought process. That seems to just happen, either by osmosis or because we're brothers of the same mother. What? To better my life. Because I ask myself the same questions. Because these questions are coming, I'm asking myself. Truly, what is the purpose of learning our history? To better my life right now. I want to better my life right now. How do I better my life now? By looking back at our history. Learning from our history so that I can better my life today. That's what I want to do. At the end of the day, I'm not reading our Bible, as they call it, the collection of our history. I'm not reading it as some kind of storybook of like Goldilocks or Jack and the Beanstalk or the Three Little Pigs. I don't read our Bible like that. I read our Bible to glean and to extract. The Bible, to me, I see it as this beautiful tree, right? And you can go and pick from that tree and you can eat from it. And then the next day, you can go and you can pick from that tree and eat from it. And each time you eat from the tree, you may get, your taste buds may be a little bit different. It may have a different quality of a taste to it. You see? We must begin to see the Bible and our history this way. Not just read it in some storybook and think, oh, that just was so great in the past. oh, I can see how in the future it's going to be like, no. What about now? What about how are you using the Bible now? How are you using the Passover experience specifically now to help you today? To help improve your life today. You see where we're going, Ms. Bob? He talks about it in his book. And I would encourage you on YouTube. Maybe you're not affiliated with this forum that we hear on in the Power Talk. But I want to encourage you to purchase that book. Because I wrote, when I responded back to Hakohen after giving him the edits, that, book is essential for every household. Should have this book on their bookshelf, in their library, in home. It's essential. So you need to get this book. Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law. You can purchase it on Amazon or even on Lulu. Get this book. It's a small read, but it's jam-packed with eternal information that will change your life. This book is life-changing. So it will help you, give you instruction on what you need to do to better your life. When you say, Rabbi, my life is better now. But so you plateau? You're going to be satisfied with a better life, or do you want the best life? Did the Master Yeshua come on this earth so you can have a better life, or did he want you to have an abundance of a best life? This earth, and experience great things, and do great miracles. Oh, you're going to just settle with the better? Oh, better is cool, Rabbi. I'm happy with better. Well, if just better makes you happy, then stay with the better. But I'm sure a majority of people will want best on this earth. You want the best for your children. You want the best for your wife. You want the best for your husband. You want the best for your family. How many just want better? Or how many are just settle for the mediocre? Oh, this is fine. I'm just happy here. No. That's not built into your DNA. That's not built into your default settings. It's not built in as a human being. You keep striving for better and better and better. I can guarantee you, Rabbi Benia, he didn't reach plateau now that he got RV. It didn't stop. Believe me, I know it didn't stop there. I can guarantee you it didn't stop there. He didn't say, okay, now I have the RV. Now my life is complete. No, life is just starting up. It's just cranking up. There's new areas. There's new things, you see. Rabbi Benia says, penthouse up next. Laugh out loud. And I'm right with him on the penthouse. I'm in total agreement with him. Penthouse is next. Do you see where his imagination is taking him? He's beginning to imagine that penthouse. Oh, how it's going to be to cook that meal in the penthouse. You're cooking that nice curry chicken in your penthouse. Eating that mango, and you're looking out from the penthouse. You see, you begin to envision, exactly what you want, and you're looking out the window, and you can see the nature's out there, and the birds are chirping in your penthouse, and your well manicured backyard out there, and you sitting there in your penthouse, you eating on that mango, or you're sipping on your mojito, or whatever it is you like. I'm a fan of the mojitos, by the way. You're sipping on your mojito. Let me tell you something. There's a lot tonight that we truly are understanding, right? There's a lot of things, a lot of activity goes on at night. In our meditations, in our sleep, as you learn from our forefather Jacob. But I would encourage you all just to go out at night. And it's like you look up at the stars. You look up at the universes. You look up, and I'm telling you, I don't know if it's just here in San Antonio, if it's just me, but you look up at night, you sit in your backyard, you're sitting on your back in your garden, in your back garden. You may be drinking a nice glass of wine. I was drinking some, Rabbi Benia, I still got your Manischewitz over here. I was drinking some Manischewitz the other night, just in the back, in the garden, after a well-manicured garden. I just cut the grass, everything's nice. I'm setting the stage for it, because I want you all to imagine this. And I'm just sitting back there, and I'm looking up at the sky, and I guarantee you, I feel like I can just grab the stars and just reel them in. And I'm looking at this, and I kid you not, I'm looking at this, And it was almost like, it was late at night. It was really late. And the stars, there was not a cloud in the sky. San Antonio was like that. We have some of the most beautiful nights you ever want to imagine in your life. You just, I mean, everything is just like you can see the universes from my backyard, my back deck. And I'm sitting there looking at this and I'm like, and it's like, and this is the best way I can explain it with this event. It was like the universe was just like super quiet. And it was like waiting. It was like waiting for me to ask a question. It was just, it's like at night the universe is waiting for us to begin to ask questions and to get answers. That's the best way I can explain it, because it was super quiet and you just see these stars. Astronauts will tell you this. If you ever heard testimonies from astronauts, they tell you, they ask you, well, how is space? They say space is very quiet. It's super quiet. Super clear, super quiet. As these astronauts do spacewalks. They're like, well, how is it to do a spacewalk in space? It's like, it's super quiet. And so in my backyard, imagine this. I'm sitting there and it's like the universe is waiting for me to speak, say something, so that it can react and do. Sort of like Jacob's ladder. But I'm sitting in a chair, sipping on some Manischewitz. And I'm looking at the stars. I'm looking at universes. And I'm thanking universes. And universes is just there so quiet. Listening. Try it. See if you don't get the same experience. I guarantee you will. But many times, because we're so caught up in what's going on in our so-called busy world, that we never take time to sit down and let the universe minister to you. And that happens at night. Truly it does. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, how can I explain this experience? And it was just like the universe was super quiet, just waiting for me to respond, speak, say something, so that the universe can act and do. Beautiful. I was like, wow, what a moment. What a moment. And this can happen every night. You can go out there every night, same thing. The universe is waiting for you to speak. It seems like everything at night becomes still and quiet. During the day, it's hustle and bustle, car horns, blah, blah, blah. But at night, everything's quiet. You hear the crickets. You hear the insects making their little sounds, doing what they do. Birds are not even chirping at night. It's super quiet. And you look up at the heavens. You can look up at the universe. And the universe is like waiting. It's like the universe is staring down at you. It's like, okay. It's like they're ready for you. How many of you know? Anybody experience that? Or is that just me? Anybody ever experience that? If you haven't experienced it, I would encourage you to go out and do it. Do it tonight. Do it this night. Go out there and you just and I'm telling you, the universe is just waiting for you. Waiting to hear from you. That's beautiful. I never had this experience being with Hagee, but I tell you what, being with the Kohen, that's just how it happens. You're connected back to source. You see, you're definitely tapped in to something outside of yourself, but there's something that's within you at the same time. It's a beautiful thing to be plugged in, just like you have to charge your iPhone. You plug into the universe. I know many of you charge your iPhone or your Android, whatever kind of phone you have, doesn't matter. But you charge it, don't you? Because it runs out. Like, I would encourage you, you go sit on your back deck. And I tell you, you make you a comfortable spot in your backyard, in your garden. And you sit out there at night. And you just, Hakoin talks about this a lot. He talks about just being quiet. Just get quiet. And you'll hear the universe get quiet too. And it's like the universe is sticking the ear out, waiting to hear from you. Okay, what's needed? What do you desire? What do you want? What are your thoughts? What do you think about most of the time? What do you want? What are your dreams? What's your imaginations? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. See, you don't have to run to no man. You don't have to run to no pastor. You just got to tap in to the root source. You tap in to Mother Earth. That's beautiful. You tap into the universe. And you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you go with an attitude of gratitude. That's been said many times, and that's so true. You just need to have an attitude of gratitude. Saying, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, universe. Thank you, power above. Thank you for so much love. For God so loved the world, right? That's the beauty there. That's beauty in that. So in the spirit of the Passover, you ask yourself these questions that we've been asking. What can I take from the Passover and apply in my life now? How does the Passover help me in my life now? What have I learned from the Passover experience in our history? How is it going to better my life now? All of these things should be for the betterment, to make your life better now, not later on, not in the future. Many in religion of Judaism, and it comes in many forms and shapes as you've seen on YouTube. They'll tell you, oh yeah, we wait for Messiah to come back, and then we're going to start kicking butt, and we're going to do this, and blah, 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 and now the lion's going to lay down with the lamb, and that's going to happen in the future. What about now? Our religions just leave you hanging? They keep giving you these, they keep giving you these trailers, like movie trailers. You watch the trailer, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see the movie, right? And they keep giving you these movie trailers. But what good is that doing me now? You see? They're giving you this movie trailer. Oh, Messiah coming, and it's going to be butt kicking, and we're going to go back in the land, and blah, 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 and lion going to lay down with the lamb, blah, blah. But what about now, Mishpachah? What about right now? What about your life now? Okay. So, here's what we need to look at. This is what I want us to look at now. All right. All of you read our Passover and our Passover story and our history, okay? Okay. This is what I want to know from you. Out of all the events that happened during the Passover, what, in your opinion, is the greatest of all the events? What do you look at and say, oh, man, what was the climax for you with the Passover events? Anybody, give me your thoughts. I want your thoughts here. When you look at the Passover, experience in our history, our rich Hebrew history, because it is rich. My goodness, it's rich. I tell you, our forefathers left us with just so much history, right? What is the event, in your opinion, when you look at the Passover, that you thought was, man, that tops them all right there? One thing that really sticks out to you when you look at the Passover in our history and what took place. The festival of protection, the festival of rescue. What event? Opinion. There's no wrong answer. You're just going to give your opinion on the matter. Pretty sure all of you have read the Passover as well. So you know our history. No, Yael 1:10. I'm talking about when we look at the Bible. What event? What thing that took place that just left you in gratitude, left you in thanks with what the God of Israel did for his people, the Hebrews? Anybody? Lion Princess says freedom and redemption. Okay, yeah, but what event? When you look at our history, I want you to pinpoint, I want you to get specific. I want you to pinpoint an event, something that occurred. Oliver says Israel leaving Egypt. Okay, that's an event. He pinpointed that event when they left Egypt. That was like the pinnacle for him when it comes to the Passover. Okay, that's Oliver. To top of that, Oliver. J-Meg says the angel of death passing over our people. Okay, that's another great event that you could peg and you could pinpoint it. It happened during the Passover, event, during the whole sequence of events. Okay, to top of that. You see? Okay, now we're cooking. Now you guys get where I'm coming from. And I'm sorry if I didn't explain it clear enough. That's not my intent. But I want to know specific events. Released from slavery in haste that night of the Passover to make a nation. Okay, Eddies, to talk of that, Eddies. Adia said, to give us a Kohen. Well, we had the Kohanim then, but they just weren't Kohen. I mean, yeah, the Levites were there. They were there. We had Aaron there. Aaron was there, and of course, we know Moses was also a Levite as well. Yeah, well, we were given the gifts of gold and silver, etc. Okay. Yeah, 1 to 10, if I can summarize, I'm saying when we came out of Egypt looking like Mr. T. You know, that's my summary of it, right there in a nutshell. We came out looking like Mr. T, gold chains and everything. You know, we came out looking like Mr. T. That was cool. That you could peg that event as well. Came out looking just like Mr. T. Any other takers? And this miracles, all these great things occurred. You see, because what I want to do is put the Passover mindset in place. You see, because what did it take? You see, before all of that, you all know the story, because I'm not going to sit here and just read all the story to you. But you know our history is that the people were suffering, right? Daniel, a.k.a. Tor Walker, says the splitting of the Sea of Reeds. When Nakshan got into the water and did not know how to swim, stepping out on favor and trusting. Great moment. Oh, indeed. Peg that great moment. It's a great moment. Great, 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 great moment in our history. Great moment. Super, super great moment. Absolutely great, great moment. Super great. Super great. To top of that, Hakohi. So, yeah, super great moment. Any other takers? Torah talks about the manna. Any other takers on it? Any other takers? See, where I want to go is I want to go to the point that was pegged in our history when we talk about the rescue, we talk about the protection, was when the Sea of Reeds was parted. When the Sea of Reeds was opened up and the people walked on dry land. I want to go there. But first I want you to see the mindset of the people. First, we know that, of course, the people were, I mean, they were. We talk about control, mind control. We talk about conscious and being unconscious. Now you got to look at the people of Israel, the Hebrews at this time. They were Hebrews, and they were building bricks. They were making bricks. Imagine this: they're making bricks. And this is hard labor. They were making bricks, and this was tough work. Really, really tough work. And they were working in some conditions that were not too conducive. You're not going to get employer of the year working at this place. The conditions were horrible. They weren't treated well as well. This is their mindset. This is where their minds were. They didn't have time to be crying out for redemption or help. They were too busy worrying and complaining about how hard the labor was. I want you to put yourself in the Hebrew shoes for a minute. They didn't have time to think about a redeemer because they was too busy trying to worry about getting enough food to eat after working a long, hard day of making bricks. Their mindset wasn't right. They didn't have time to worry about spiritual progress, much less physical progress. They too busy worrying about their ailments, aching bones. Maybe they could have used some of my cream. But I'm pretty sure they had some aching bones and, joints that were aching and bones and all kind of issues because they were working really, really hard. So what did it take for them to break through? For them to come through? It took somebody else, another person coming from the outside that wasn't doing these kind of things. Somebody else observing from that wasn't making these bricks, but that was observing from afar, from a distance, but yet was really close to them, part of their family, to come in and give them a new mindset. You see, from the conditioning that they have been put under for making these bricks for so long. I mean, they were expert brick makers, I can guarantee you that. They could probably build anything you wanted them to build. They were skilled in that aspect. But at the same time, for them to get rescued, what had to happen? Somebody else had to come from the outside in. for them to find freedom. For somebody to show them freedom. Because they couldn't see it. And as you from their responses, we'll read it in a minute, but I just want to set the stage for you. As you know from their responses, they say, man, look, hey, we were pretty happy over there making bricks, you know, having all this good food to eat and making these bricks. Why you had to take us out of our situation? I mean, they were so conditioned to their situation that change was foreign and seen as a bad thing, evil. Let's pick it up. Let's look at Exodus. We'll look at Exodus chapter 14. And we're going to pick it up where, I think it was Eddie, somebody said, where the part where they came out of Egypt, and now they're out. They're out of Egypt. Because of who? Moses and Aaron. All the great miracles that took place on Egypt. And now Pharaoh finally relents, and he lets the children of Israel go. Exodus chapter 14, verse 10. And when they drew near, you see now, you know, the children of Israel, they're free, they're walking out like Mr. T, like Yael, woman of the 10, talking about, they come out with all this jury. Now, Pharaoh says, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have let them go. Pharaoh has two minds. He has two minds now, and he changed his mind up a little bit. Say, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have let these people go. Maybe I shouldn't let these people go. New reality welcome. He said, wait a minute. That's what we're picking up in Exodus chapter 14, verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew near, now he said, no, now let's go back and round these people up. Let's go back and take them out. They annihilated my country. Kilmer's born. And you think they're just going to escape and run around out here like Mr. T with all these things, taking all their belongings and leave? No. Paraphrasing. And when Pharaoh drew near, now the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Mitzrim, the Egyptians, marched after them, and they were extremely afraid. And the children of Israel cried out to Yahweh. Look at verse 11. And they said to Moshe, they said to Moses, they said to Musa, because there are no graves in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? Question. Why have you so dealt with us to bring us up out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt? Question. You see, when somebody comes in and introduces something new, there's always going to be questioning. But you can see the conditioning of the mindset of the people, of the children of Israel, and the strangers that were among them as well. Because sometimes change or doing something out of what is considered the norm can be, my goodness, can be almost, it's so strange that it can almost be seen as evil or as wrong. And a lot of folks have a difficult time with change, so they just stay in their particular condition that they're in because change is foreign. Change is fearful to them because they're so used to the conditioning. Oh, I'm used to making bricks. I'm used to having to work, you know, more than a 9 to 5. That's no problem. I've been doing it. But now you bring us out here, and now, you know, yeah, a lot of my mates were dying before. Yeah, due to the rigorous work and the vigorous labor. But now you said to me out here, I'm going to die. I'd rather take my chances back in Egypt. Paraphrasing. See, look at the mindset. I want you to see the mindset of the people. See, it took somebody else from outside to come in so that they can see redemption and can experience freedom. And it can experience protection. But again, how can you experience protection if you don't have events? Events have to come in sometimes so that you can realize the freedom that you do have, that you truly are free. So that you can realize the miracle that is staring you in the face and see it and recognize it truly as a miracle. Listen, it's no less than a miracle that the Kohen, the son of Aaron, told this man, I think it's Adia's husband, look, you're going to be in America. That's no less miracle. And to do that in 8 months or so, that's no less than a miracle. People just don't come into America no more like you used to. This is a closed-door policy. Believe me, I'm telling you, it's so true. America's not letting people immigrate in so easily anymore. Let me tell you a true story. That I was having a conversation with my Pakistani friend where I get my gas in the corner gas station just yesterday. He recognized, he saw my wife. My wife is Chinese, and he saw my wife. You know, we've been friends for years. I've been getting gas for there over 10 years. Same place. I'm loyal to this gas station. I only get gas there. And so we have discussions. He's from Pakistan, Lahore. He's from Lahore, and he tells me, he says, hey, your wife, she's here from China. I said, yeah, she's here. He said, well, how did she get here? I was like, well, we did a visa, we did a travel visa, and she's here. And he said, do you know, I've been trying to get my wife and children here from Pakistan. I filled out all the paperwork, did exactly what they said, had a sponsor come in, even the owner of the gas station, he helped me sponsor my wife because I didn't meet the criteria for having enough money to sponsor my wife and children to get here from Pakistan. So even he helped me out, and it's been 5 years, and I'm still waiting for my wife and children to come here from Pakistan. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it's been 5 years. How come you hearing this? It's been 5 years. And I'm saying thank you to the universes. 5 years. He's been waiting, and he's still waiting today. He says, I have filled out all the necessary paperwork, and I'm still waiting for my wife and daughter. He said, well, how did you get your wife here from China so quickly? I said, do you believe in miracles? 5 years, and he's still waiting for his wife and children to come to America. You just don't come to America. Then he told me another story. He says, yeah, I have this friend in India and in Pakistan. He's a billionaire. And he's been trying to get into America, and they won't let him come. Pakistan won't let him come into America. America won't let him in. They won't let him come. I was like, wow. And I knew of this as well because it's the same story. So you just don't come to America no more. I don't care what the socioeconomic status is. You know, many people are dying, as you know, from the borders here, southern borders here in Texas. People are dying to come in here from Mexico. They want to come to America. Not only from Mexico, people want to come from Pakistan. People want to come from China and get into America. It's not as easy as you think, Ms. Baha. So for Adelia's husband to get here, it's no less than a miracle. And you need to see it as that. Manifesting miracles. That's what we do. When you're connected to your I am, your inner man, your inner woman, you can manifest these things, and you can bring them into existence. This is real stuff, Ms. Baha. This is reality staring you in the face. I tell you, my heart went out to this man when he told me, my Pakistani friend. He said, 5 years I've been waiting for my wife and children to get here. I've done all the necessary, jumped through all the hoops like they told me, and I'm still waiting for my wife. So, because I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing this summer? You have any summer plans? He said, yeah, I'm going back to Pakistan to see my wife and my children because they're still not here in America. So I use my summer vacation time to go to Pakistan and be with my wife and children. So guess what I did with my friend? I began to help. I began to write his script for him. I began to help. You know, we can't influence other folks. You can do it. And I told him this. I said, you won't have to wait another year for your family to be here. Your wife and children. You won't have to wait another year. So now I'm writing a script for him. That his wife and children will be here in 365 days. In San Antonio. Do you see that? He don't have to know my process because he may not understand all that, but I'm going to do that for him. Because I know how important family is. All of you in this room, you should know how important family is. And if you can have that effect, you see, because a lot of folks not going to understand the I am that's within them. They don't know what power they have within them as human beings. That the God lives in you. You don't have to go search for him outside of you. He's within you. That's real. That's real life stuff there. That's real life stuff. So I'm writing this script. And we'll see. I'll report back to you on my Pakistani friend. We'll see when his family gets here. We'll see. I told him, you won't have to wait another year for you to be united with your family here in San Antonio, Texas. You won't have to wait another year. This real stuff here, man. At the end, to the universes, to Mother Earth, and you're grounded to Mother Earth, there's nothing that's not impossible. There's no such thing as mission impossible. No such thing. All missions can be manifested. Maybe somebody should do a movie on that. Mission manifested. Not mission impossible. We don't need Tom Cruise. We get somebody to do it. You understand what I mean? So I think that's very vital and important for you to understand. Is that you can affect your world around you positively. Because you think, after 5 years, and I'm looking in this man's eyes, and I'm pretty sure, you look in his eyes and you can tell that, he's worn out from the process. So now what does he need? He needs somebody else to come in from the outside to put fuel to his energy. His energy meter is probably running on low. After 5 years, you still waiting for your wife and children to come to America? What is this? No, somebody else got to come in from the outside. Moses had to come in from the outside to help the children of Israel understand who they are. And look, you guys are covenant people here, man. Wait a minute. You see, because Israel forgot. Just like in the nation. That's why I'm super excited that Hakoim is going to talk to this, my brother from the same mother. We're Judah. We're brothers. You're going to talk to Judah. And this man, see, I don't have that kind of history. As far back as I can go in my family tree is a plantation in Louisiana. That's it. That was actually given to my ancestor. She was a house slave. And when he died, he gave her the plantation. That's as far back as I can go. That's it. But my brother from the east, he has great history. I tell you, there's books coming out. I already see it. True history. Not none of this mumbo jumbo that you coming from the Kozar Mountains and you blah 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 and got on these ships and you had this, that. No. Not no 1949 stuff. We going way beyond that. Way further back. That's going to be great. I'm super excited. I can't wait to hear some of the stories that are going to come out about our history. It's our history. This is good stuff. Not putting a color on it, but we're putting faces to it. This is real. Oh, you're not Israel because you're this. You're not Israel because you're so... I don't have time for all that. I'm too busy manifesting, attracting. I'm too busy living a happy life with a happy wife and family. Living a life of peace, a life of joy. That's default setting. Let's get back into our story and our hearing here. I think it's important. It's so vital, so important. So what does Moshe tell them? Well, we're told in our history that when the Hebrews, the children of Israel, they saw Pharaoh coming, they said, oh, no, now we're really going to get the smack down. Pharaoh was very angry. We done took all his gold, his silver, all his good possessions, killed his firstborn son. Exodus chapter 14, verse 10 said they were extremely afraid. Not only afraid, but extremely afraid. How many of you know what fear can do to you? Fear can totally paralyze you. It's totally a detractor from your conscious self, from your I am, from you being able to do any kind of manifestation, any kind of attracting. It breaks that down. No miracles can happen when there's fear. I want you to understand that. And if you don't believe me, you look at the Master Yeshua. You look at his life. You look at his life here on this earth. The Master Yeshua could not do any miracles for anybody that was in fear. And sometimes when you read in our history, he got quite angry when people became fearful. He's like, look, I don't know. Get enough. Why did you fear? Why? Why did you doubt? Why? Because he understood that that's not our default setting. Default setting for humanity is not to fear. So why do you think? Why do you think mainstream media, mainstream whatever, They have to keep you in a state of fear. It's because that weakens you as a human being. This is where you become weak, when you're in fear. You become weakened. Your superhuman, super I am self cannot perform around fear, around doubt. Can't do. These are negators of the strength that is within you to succeed in any aspect, every area of your life. Fear. Well, we're told here, let's look at our history. Why do we read our history? So we can learn from it. And learn to what? Improve our lives today. So what are our books telling us here? Is that the children of Israel were extremely afraid. And what is the first thing that they do? When the children of Israel were afraid, that they cried out to Yahweh. Exodus chapter 14, verse 10, verse 11. And they said to Moshe, y'all already know what it said, we just read it. Because there were no graves in Mitzrayim and Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? You see, doubt, fear breeds doubt. If I can guarantee you, fear and doubt are kissing cousins. Believe me. If you have fear, first thing that's going to come out of your mind is doubt. Oh, I doubt that. Oh, I sure hope we don't make it through this one. Fear breeds doubt, and vice versa. Doubt breeds fear. Because when you don't know that you don't know, then you don't know, and you're fearful of what you don't know. This is why it's so important that you begin to imagine, that you begin to visualize, that you begin to dream, and that you begin to write your script the way you want it done. Because then you know. You know it happened, right, Rabbi Benia? You know you're going to get that RV. Because you know. Not uncertainty, not doubt. Well, I hope I get it. Oh, I think I might. I don't know why. No, you write your script so that you know. You know what's going to happen. The children of Israel were already told. They knew what was going to happen. They knew. Moses told them, look, it's going down just like this. God is going to do this for you. He's going to free you. Now, come on, man. Let's put reality caps on here for a minute. How you going to see all of these great miracles take place where the God of Israel totally annihilates the superpower of that time? Annihilates them. With all of these great signs, wonders, and miracles. And then all of a sudden, he's going to take you to the seaside to let you drown? Come on, man. Too many times we get so caught up in spirituality, or we get so dumbed down by fear and doubt that we can't see what's real in front of us. Fear will keep you out of reality. It will keep you out of what's real because you're fearful. And it just, I tell you, it sucks away at everything that's positive within you. Because all energy is placed on that fear. Oh, what's going to happen next? Oh no, I'm going to die. When God told you, you just saw what the God of Israel did for you. The God of the Hebrews. You have a covenant with Abraham. How are you going to... See, that's what you need to tell yourself today. You have a covenant with Abraham. How are you not going to be successful? You have a covenant with Abraham. How are you not going to be wealthy? You have a covenant with Abraham. How are you not going to have health? You have a covenant with Abraham. How are you not going to have shalom? You're part of that same covenant that Abraham's a part of. Unless you're not a part of it. Are you just playing the part? Or are you a part? I am covenant. That's what you need to tell yourself. I am covenant now. I wasn't covenant back then. I'm not going to be covenant in the future. I am covenant now with the Creator of the heavens and the universes. I am in covenant now with the God of Israel. I am in covenant now. This is a covenant it's a forever covenant. It's an empty covenant. The covenant don't change. You're not going to get memos coming down from heavens. Oh, yeah, well, this is memo number 96321, and we're making some changes here. Now you're not the people of the covenant. We picked another people. What? That's what, society will tell you. Mainstream will tell you, oh, you're not the people. You've never been the people. You never were the people. You never was the people. Well, guess what? The Kohi I tell you, he's linking up with the people, with proof of the people. And he's going to have these are the people. They have proof. I don't have any proof. Except a plantation in Louisiana. As far back as I can go. As far as documentation is concerned, proof is in the pudding, so they say. Well, Hakohe's going to eat the pudding, and the pudding's going to be good. I guarantee you it's going to be great. It's going to be good pudding. As he gets the proof. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. So let's get back to our story here. So we see that Israel was afraid. So they were afraid, the children of Israel were afraid, the Hebrews were afraid, so they began to doubt. Doubt demanding. Now look at verse 12 of verse 14 of chapter 14. Is this not the word that we told you in Mitzrayim in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, than that we should die in the wilderness. There you go. That mindset. It takes somebody else coming from the outside. You got to come from the outside to help this particular mindset. It took the son of Aaron, Hakohe, Rabbi Simon out there, to come in from the outside. He come in from way from the outside. He came in from the east to help me with my Western mindset. I'm putting it personal here. To break that conditioning that I had in the West. And you know what the mainstay was? And I guarantee you, I bet you Rabbi Zakari will say the same thing. It was that hidden truth we break scrolls. My goodness. You read that. If you don't have the hidden break scrolls, I mean, that broke that condition. I was like, wait a minute. Some of the walls start to come down from that. You know, well, again, back then it was called the Abrahamic faith in Nizar scriptures. I mean, they began to break that mind. So, wait a minute. This wall of me not being nothing? Broke that one. This wall of me, let me know who I really was? Broke that one. All the questions that I had, why am I here in America? Broke that one. The question of why are they calling me African American? Broke that one. Because I'm not African American. That's not me. But that's who they said that I was. So I rolled with that because that's all I had. Is what they were telling me. So it took someone else coming from the outside. Do you see it? I want you to see this pattern, Mishpachah. That's why I say thank you for the Kohen in the gate, for the priest of Israel that's in the gate, to help break that mindset. Same pattern. It took Moses, a Levite, to break that pattern of the children of Israel. They had been in the nation a long time, and they had been conditioned. Basically, let's face it, the Bible calls them children of Israel, but they weren't children of Israel as of yet. Well, yes, they were, technically. But they were Hebrews. Had to break that mindset. Somebody else had to come in. Another Hebrew, by the way, to break that mindset. Do you see? It's the same pattern. Another Hebrew coming from afar, and he's broken that mindset with me, for sure. I'm pretty sure for some of you as well. And if you don't have those hidden truth grace scrolls, go purchase them. If you consider yourself a student of the Bible, add that to your library. That's going to really help you. You can get them on Amazon. You can get that Bible on Amazon. It'll really help you, YouTube. It'll really help you with all these questions that you always had. And now history has been changed and skewed to fit a certain agenda, which was already prophesied. No, prophesied that a long time ago. So don't be surprised and don't get up in arms and don't get angry. Because, they stole my identity. I blah, blah, blah. No, there's no time for all that. Save your energy on better things. Like fixing yourself. Getting yourself right. You see? Verse 13 of Exodus chapter 14. And Moshe said to the people, and Moses and Musa, he said to the people, listen to what Moshe says. He says, do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever. Different mindset. Do you see how he's coming in with the positivity? All that negative stuff. Coming at it. Hurled at him. Oh man, Moses, you should have left us there. We was better off up there. I told you to leave us in Egypt. We was doing very good there. Blah, 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 blah. And Moses said, wait a minute, pump the brakes. First of all, don't be afraid. I tell you this day. I tell you the same thing Moses said. Don't be afraid, Mishpachah. Don't be afraid, YouTube. Whatever you can do, don't fear. And your next thing, stand still. What does that stand still mean? That's meditation. Stand still. He talks about that all the time. Another Levite. What does he say? He said, be quiet. Stand still. He's telling you to meditate. Quit all of that. Sit down. Be quiet. Meditate. Stand still. And then what happens when you meditate? How many people meditate and there's a bunch of noise and you're jumping jacks and you're playing hopscotch while you meditate? No, you're standing still. You're quiet. You got to get quiet. How many of you are learning this day to get quiet with yourself? How do you just get quiet? Meditate. Meditate, man. Stand still. Remember. Stand still. Remember what was said to you. All right. Pump the brakes. Don't look at what's in front of you. Look at the bigger picture. It's time to meditate. Stand still. Yeah, there's a situation in front of you, but don't worry. Think about what was told. Think about what already happened. You think you're going to die here? No way. But you got to be in a quiet, you got to be still. Quiet, that's meditation. Moses telling them to meditate, baby. Stand still. Stand still. He talks about in this book that he just wrote, The Perfect Law versus the Law of Attraction. That's a great book. But he talks about how during the time of Jesus, the Hebrews, the Israelites at that time, they thought they were going to conquer things by how? By war, right? But Jesus was telling them just the opposite. The Master Yeshua, he said, you're going to conquer things by peace. That's how you're going to... I'll tell you, you got to read that book. It's great. It's great. And it's so true. When you're quiet. And he talks about in the book how if you're quiet, if the people could have just came together and just like Moses said, be still, they could have took down the Rome. They could have took down Rome with no problem. But the people came at it with the wrong mindset. Oh, we're supposed to be warriors. Isn't that the same way today? Especially you who listen via YouTube. You see all of these so-called Hebrew Israelite groups, blah, blah, blah. Hebrew this, blah, blah, blah. Jew this. And what are they talking about? Oh, you got to pick up arms. We got to begin the fight. Now where are they at in America? On the FBI's most wanted hate group list, right? That's not doing. The Master saying, no, we ought to be about peace. Not about protesting here in North America, but you should be about peace. We're about love. We're about peace. We're about happiness. We're about joy. That's what we're about. We're about innovating this country. We're about elevating this country, not tearing it down, not speaking against it. Do you understand? That's that same mindset. Moses was telling the children of Israel, hey, don't be afraid. The YouTubers, they're telling you, oh, you be afraid. Get off the grid. Burn your credit cards. Burn your passport. You don't need it. We are doing all this mumble, putting you in a bunch of fear. Oh, America's going down. America's not going down. America's the greatest superpower that ever was a superpower. Let reality stare you in the face for a minute. See, this whole mindset thing. Moses is telling them, be still. Don't be afraid and meditate. You need to meditate. Be still. Be still. Didn't the Master say that as well? The Master Yeshua, he said it as well. He said, be still. Be still. But there's these big waves. Be still. But they coming. Be still. But this horse going to run me over. Be still. But Rabbi, you don't know I got this bill. But Rabbi, they're going to take my... Be still. They're going to take my house. Be still. Are you living in your house now? But next week, be still. But I don't know how I'm going to pay this. Be still. Don't be afraid. Man, Moses, I'm telling you. Again, it takes somebody from the outside. Exodus chapter 14. Verse 13, and Moshe said to the people, don't be afraid, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will accomplish for you today. Now, he'll accomplish for you now, not tomorrow, you need it now. For the For the Mitra, for the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever. Verse 14 of chapter 14. Yahweh shall fight for you. He shall hold, and guess what? Yahweh shall fight for you, and you shall hold your what? You shall hold your shalom. You shall hold your peace. I'm pretty sure some of you going through some situations right now. Best thing you can do, don't be afraid. Learn from Moses. Take this and apply it in your life today so that you can better your life now. Your situation, don't be afraid. Stand still, meditate, and guess what? Do what else? You shall hold your what? Your peace. Have your peace about you. I mean, this stuff is real. I'm telling you, it works. But you got to be plugged in. You got to be tapped in to universe, to source energy, to source power, to the power of powers. You must be tapped in, and I guarantee you Moses is tapped in. And I'll also guarantee you that the son of Aaron, like Simon Altef, is tapped in to universe, to source energy. I guarantee you. I can guarantee you. Verse 15. And Yahweh said to Moshe, here it goes, why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward. Wow. Why are you crying? Mission hasn't changed. Go forward. But wait a minute, God, there's like a super amount of water, and I've been building these bricks, so I didn't have time to work at the YMCA. Yeah, I didn't have time to go to the YMCA and take those swimming lessons because I'm building these bricks, and God, I don't know how to swim, and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I didn't have time. Legendary hero says, Rabbi Kefa, say on the mic, I am God. Oh yes, you are God, and God is within you. I am now. I am now. I am now. I don't have to go searching for God. God is within me. Baruch Hashem. God is within you. And when you realize that, you come out of this conditioning from all of these foolish churches out here and all this religion mumbo-jumbo that's keeping you afraid, keeping you in doubt. That's just what's going on. And keeping you out of peace. Yet they claim to be religions of peace, but they killing everybody. What's that about? Oh, we peaceful, but they annihilate everybody. What does that have to do with peace? It's a bunch of malarkey. It's a bunch of words. It's a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, Mishpah. And if you're here today listening to this message, or you're listening live, it's because it was meant to be now. Now is that appointed time for you now to really understand what's going on with humanity and why truly you're here on this earth and what you're supposed to be doing. Instead of, following the mainstream and still no peace. Come on, just look at the fruits of your labor. Just look at the fruits of your labor. That's all you have to do. Is just look at the fruits of your labor. That's it. Do you have peace? Do you have joy? Are you happy? Are you successful? Do you have love? A lot of folks that flow through here, they tell you, look at the fruits of their labor, they're telling you, just by what they're saying, there's no love in them. Why? It's because they're fueled with hate. They have a desire to hate. And so you have to just, what? You have to excommunicate yourself from these kind of people. You see? That's all you have to do. And don't give them any, because they do all of this they want energy brought to themselves. So you don't give them no energy. You give them no vibration. You give no frequency to that. None whatsoever. So Moshe is telling the children of Israel, wait. Yahweh shall fight for you in verse 14 of chapter 14 of Exodus. And you shall hold your peace. Some of you may be having an event going on right now in your life. One of the best things that you can do is meditate, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Keep your shalom about you. Rabbi, I don't even have no shalom. This is why you're having that event. Because remember, Hakohi told you, and this is very true, sometimes events occur in our life so that they can refine us. What you don't have, you're going to get. You want peace, it's coming your way. I tell you what. When I came into the knowledge of the facts of the universes, it seemed like all hell seemed to break loose. But that's why. That was refinement, man. Every experience is refinement for you. Sometimes these experiences, especially like Hakohi said, if they keep reoccurring, I mean, if you're having these experiences occur to you in your life for 2-3 years and nothing has changed, my goodness, no, this is more than an experience. You need to get with the Kohen and deal with that karma, because that's what's affecting you. And the Master Yeshua, Master Yahweh says, and he says in verse 15, and Yahweh said to Moshe, to Moses, to Musa, why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward. Well, Rabbi, you don't know about go forward. But you don't know that go forward, Mishpah. Today, 2018, same message, same mission. Is go forward. When you scripting and things seem like, it's like, wait a minute, I'm scripting this, but it's not happening the way it needs to happen and when it needs to happen. The universe is telling you to continue to go forward. Continue to script it. Script it, script it, script it, and keep going forward. Keep going forward. Go forward. There's water. Go forward. Just like somebody penned it. They said, you know, the Passover experience in our history, the key point that I like is when Nachshon, regardless of what was, you know, there was water in the way, he still went forward. While everybody else was complaining, oh, they're going to die, blah, 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 had the wrong mindset, Nachshon knew, said, go forward. Go forward. Okay, but there's waters coming up to my thigh. Go forward. Where the water's coming up to my waist, go forward. Where the water's coming up to my neck, go forward. Truly building and strengthening your inner man. Just like most folks in society today, they focus on strengthening the outer man. They're going to the gym, going to Gold's Gym, taking all these memberships, doing all of this stuff, but never and neglect to exercise the inner man. What you're learning this day is to exercise your inner man. You're building the reps and building the inner man up, Mishpah. Making it stronger. Exodus chapter 14, verse 16. You're getting ready to close up here. Don't worry. Then Yahweh goes further on to say, but lift up your rod, talking to Moshe, talking to Moses, and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. My goodness. You want to talk about a moment? No other people in the history of histories. And I've been learning a lot about my wife's history, the Han. My wife is Han, Chinese. She's from the Han family. Even their rich history, which is very deep and recorded, they don't even have great events like what occurred with the children of Israel and their God and what he did for them by dividing the Sea of Reeds so that the children of Israel could walk on dry land. Beautiful. Awesome. I tell you what. And you see, that's what needs to occur in your lives as well. Sometimes when you get to that point to where you're trapped between a rock and a hard place, you got water on this side, Pharaoh on the other side. And everything seems to be converging on you. We hear it all the time. People phone into us, oh, Rabbi, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. And then what happens? The universe begins to divide different ways for you to get out. Not only is it one way for you to get out, sometimes it's multiple ways to take to get out of your situation. And not only get out of your situation, but to succeed and even put you in a better place than you were before while you were in the midst of that situation and you thought that there's no way out. I'm here today to encourage you and tell you that there is a way. There'll be divisions that open up for you to where you can choose different ways. That's called multiplying. Although the God of Israel told Moses to divide the seas, but actually that's multiplying because there's going to be multiple ways for you to get out of your situation. I'm telling you it works. It's real. It really is real, Mishpah. I'm going to tell you. I'm telling you it's real. I'll give you a real life example in my life this day now. My ex-wife, I tell you, may God give her peace and may God give her love and may God give her joy. But, I was hoodwinked and bamboozled by her. Why? It's because I took her word for her word. And I did my part. We made a contract, which we didn't go through the legal means because I figured we didn't have to do that because I trusted her word. I kept my part of the bargain. I'm still keeping my part of the bargain, but she didn't. I told her the only thing I wanted out of this relationship was to keep my house, which I had before I met you, my house, my home. I bought it as a single man. She said, okay, fine. Said, the only thing I asked is that you pay all the bills, and we had some bills. I said, okay, I'll assume all the debt that we incurred together. I'll assume it all. Only thing I want is that I keep my house. And on top of that, I'll give you $10,000 so you can go start your life over. And I did that as well. But guess what she did? She came back she came back when the stipend, the $10,000 stipend ran out because I was giving it to her in payments. She came back after that ran out, I think it was about like a year. She came back and said, now I want part of the house as well. I said, wait a minute. But we had a deal. We agreed. We sat down at the table like you and I are talking now, and we agreed, okay, I'll do this for you, you do that. No problem. Only thing I wanted out of the agreement was the house, and of course I wanted Pharaoh as well. He became part of the deal. I said, I want to keep my dog Pharaoh. My rhymer whiner, Pharaoh. I said, that's loyalty to me right there. I'm keeping him. And she said, no problem. Well, a year later she came back and said, no, now I want part of the house. So I went through litigation again with her. I had to hire a lawyer. And my lawyer was like, man, you should have done this the first time. You see, now, it's your word against hers. And the judge most likely is going to go with her word because she's a woman and blah, blah, blah. And you make this money and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So then we settled. So the judge told me I had to give a year. Well, I was given a year. Now, my home is approximately worth around $200,000. This woman wanted half of my home now. My goodness. But who do they come to for the blessings? Of course they're going to come to the Jews. They're going to come to the people of the covenants, to the children of the covenants. Because why? We're blessed. And I'm like, look at him. I am blessed. I truly am blessed. I am infinite abundance. That's what I am. So people are going to come to us like ATM. It's okay. Give it a year. Judge said, okay, you have a year, and you have to pay her $22,000 in a year per portion of the house. Once you do that, we'll take her name off the deed. The house will be yours. No worries. No problem. I'm like, okay, no problem. No problem. No worries. So, here's the miracle. I wrote this script. I didn't sit there afraid. Well, where am I going to come up with $22,000? They're going to take my house. Do you know where I live? I live in a little small community. How come you know some of the rabbis have been here as well? Really small, little quaint, quiet little place, little community. It's so quiet. You would imagine that a main thoroughfare is like maybe a mile and a half from you, with all the hustle and bustle of big city life. But here where I live is so super quiet. But when I had this house built, my house was the first house up on this whole street. It was all empty except my house was the only one up, first one up. And the God of Israel, he told me, he said, you know what, you're not going anywhere. He's like, this is your house. I put you here. I placed you here in San Antonio, Texas. You see, because if the minute the judge says, oh, you got to give this woman $22,000 or we're going to take your house, oh, my goodness, fear will come in quick. You'll be just, man, I can't believe it. They're going to take my house away from me. And I said, no, they're not taking my house. My house was the first one here. God put me here. I'm staying here. I'm going to be here. This house will be passed on to my children and children's children. This house is not going anywhere. This house is staying with me. You see, the minute they introduce money into it, because if you don't have the proper mindset and understanding of money, it will leave you in fear, in doubt. So, $22,000. Well, guess what? Now it's time to pay that $22,000. And through the whole year, I didn't worry about it. I didn't worry about it one bit. I wrote my script. And I said the universe will make a way. And not only did the universes make a way, the universes, just like you see in this story here, the God of Israel divided several ways for me to choose to be able to get this woman this money, and then also be able to also put myself in a better state at the same time. This is no less than a miracle. I didn't sit there worried about, well, where am I going to come up with $22,000 to give this woman who deceitfully went against her word, changed up the whole story, went to the judge, sobbing and crying, saying I never gave her the $10,000 to begin with. But I understand, money is not an object, it's energy. $22,000 is not in my mindset, because what? I'm a multi-millionaire. That's my image. That's what I imagine, and that's what I script for myself. What is $22,000? It's nothing. She even made out worse anyway, because she wanted half of a $200,000 home, which would be what? $100,000. But the judge, I think the judge was right, because the judge kind of, that $10,000 was paid to her initially. Brought the proof that I'm paying all the bills. So the judge was like, okay, give her $22,000 and go on with your life. So that's what I'm doing. And now the money is here. I'm able to do that. The $22,000 is here. I didn't sweat bullets for it. I didn't do nothing. I just wrote my script. Miss Mahal, I didn't work hard for it, but I worked smart because I wrote my script. And the universe is doing exactly as the script was written. And matter of fact, give us several options. Truly multiplied the whole situation, because there's several options, several routes that I can go down. And put myself even in a better position, whatever route I choose. So next week she'll have her money, her $22,000, and she'll be out of my life. And I'm going to tell her, you know what? Thank you. You truly made me from a better man to a great man. Thank you. Thank you. And I wish best endeavor to you. I don't wish nothing on you that you don't put on yourself. And everything she's doing, she's putting it on herself. I'm not putting it on her, because I have held my word. Miss Farah, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you don't have anything, you have your word. Your word is stronger than anything, any monetary thing on this earth, because it's your word that manifests. It's your word that attracts. So that's why your words are so powerful, Miss Farah. You must understand that. I don't wish any ill towards her word. I'm actually thanking her. I'm like, hey, thank you for giving me this event, because it truly has made me stronger, you see. It truly has made me I am so much stronger going through the situation. Some of you say, well, $22,000, Rabbi, I can't come up with that. I can't do that, blah, blah. There's no way. But you can't. But your I am can. Your mind can. Your thought process can. How the hell am I going to come up with $22,000 in a year to give this person? I got bills. I got this. I got a wife in China I'm trying to get here. I got this bills. I got baby coming. Look, I'm telling you it works, and I'm telling you this from experience. I'm not just giving you some mumbo jumbo. That's why I'm opening up my personal life. That's why Kohen does it as well sometimes. We don't give you all of it, but we do open up our lives to you sometimes so you can see that this stuff is really real. When you operate in perfect law, it's real, it works. But you have to apply, you have to believe it. Kohen talks about this in his book, The Perfect Law versus the Law of Attraction, or I may have it. That's the title of it. The Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law. He talks about this. The main thing that you have to do is you have to believe. You don't have to pay for belief. You must believe what you're scripting is going to happen the way it's going to happen in the will. The man must believe. The Israelites, the children of Israel, had to believe that they were going to be rescued. Nachshon, he went into that water. He had to believe, I'm not going to drown. But the water coming to net, I'm not going to drown. I'm not going to drown. I am a survivor. I am rescued. You have to believe it. You don't just say it with no belief. Believe me, I've been in that already. That's religion. They say, but there's no belief behind it. They say, but there's nothing behind it. And this is why, they never get anywhere. But they keep saying, but it's rote. There's no belief in it. You truly have to believe. I believe the $22,000 was going to show up. I believe that. I knew it was. I didn't have to worry about it. I was busy carrying on with my life. I'm worried about some piddly $22,000. That's nothing. And our coin is right. You can go through 20,000, especially if you don't have the relationship with money. And like nothing. Come Mishpah, you go through that like nothing. Then what? Then what well do you pull from? You see? What well do you pull from then? But again, I wish no ill towards my ex-wife. I truly thank her for leaving me, because now I went from ex-wife to best wife in the whole world. And I may be biased, but some of you may think the same thing, that you have the best wife in the world. I truly have my help meet. Truly I do. I am so happy. I am so joyous. I am full of joy. I am full of peace, and I'm truly full of love. And definitely full of gratitude and thanks. Because it was because of the Kohen. The Kohen told me, you got to go to the east. You got to go to the east, baby. You got to go to the east. And I did that. And I believed I would find the greatest wife that all of my imaginations were met. All my desires were met in my wife. I found her. I truly found her. And I know all of you can find her as well. But again, there will be situations that come up. See, the ex-wife rolls her head up just like Pharaoh. Pharaoh let him go. Now he want to come back for sloppy seconds. He want to come back and deal with the children of Israel. Ex-wife, same thing. Do you see the parallel? Same story. At the end of the day, Israel still gets rescued. And that's what I got. Rescue. That rescue, just like the Master Yahweh told Moses, that rescue divided. Not only one, but we're not going to divide the sea one way. We're going to divide the sea 12 ways. Take your pick. Take your pick. Gotta multiply this division. Baruch Hashem. Do you see that, Mishpah? It's because I wrote my script. And I didn't sit there. I was here. I didn't worry. Because my lawyer, oh my goodness, poor man. Make sure you have the money. How are you going to get the money? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I say, don't worry, sir. Don't worry. I'm not worried. Why are you worried? Don't worry. The judge said I have to pay it at this time. It will be paid. Don't worry. I didn't worry. I'm going to sit there running in fear and complaining. Sleepless nights for what? Oh, you go to bed thinking, you're going to come up with $22,000 to give your ex-wife who truly doesn't deserve it. See, that's what your mind will tell you. She doesn't deserve it. She truly lied to you. She didn't keep her part of the bargain and blah, blah. I don't have time for that. That's her script that she's writing over there. She'll have to deal with that with the universe. I don't. You see? I don't have to pray about all that stuff. But too many people in this world, they're worrying and afraid and in fear. And then before you know it, just like the Israelites, your mind, you know what my mind was taking me? At first, because I didn't have this perfect law then. But at first, you know what my mind was taking me? Oh man, you should have just stayed with her. You could have saved $22,000. You could have saved $10,000 that you gave her. You could have saved all these lawyer fees. Are you kidding me? You want me to go back to Egypt? No. Hell no. Hell no. Rabbi Kefa's not going back to no freaking Egypt. For what? So I can be enslaved? Hell no. I'm free. Well, you see, that's mentality. That's when your mind has control. Oh no, our ship is sinking. $22,000? How the heck we gonna come up with that? We on a sinking ship, and I'm going down with it. No, I'm not. I'm jumping that ship. I jumped that ship. Moses came to me in the form of the son of Aaron. Oh, we're going to bring the perfect law in here. Kefa, you do this. Perfect law. You, Kefa, you script. And sure enough, the universes came through me every single time. Every single time. You see, because me and money, we have a great relationship, and our friendship will last forever. I attract money to me daily. I love money, and money loves me back. That's real. It's really real, Mishpah, but you have to apply. You have to tap into source energy. You have to tap into the universe. I mean, if money is not object but energy, I'm going to source energy for some energy. And source energy gave me energy in the form of money. Hallelujah. And not only that money, more money is coming. Believe me, more money is coming. Because I'm like Rabbi Benia. I'm talking about penthouses, plural, not singular. We're talking about penthouses, plural. Baruch Hashem. Come on, man. Money is your friend. Don't hate money. Don't discredit money. Oh, but they're telling you on YouTube, oh, you have to discount the money because money got this Illuminati, blah, blah, blah. You have to burn your credit cards and get the grid. Man, I'm on the grid and I'm riding the grid and I love the grid, baby. And you should as well. You're to prosper, Mishpah. You are prosperity. You are abundance. It's not just a word for me. I live that. I live abundance. I live prosperity. I live in peace. I'm not going to sit here and worry for a whole year. How am I going to come up with $22,000? How am I going to, oh, they're going to take my house. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, I got to live in an apartment. Are you kidding me? I'm not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I am here. San Antonio, Texas, my house. I'm standing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Baruch Hashem. And I give thanks to the university. More importantly, I have gratitude and give thanks to the Kohen, to the son of Aaron, to the modern Moses that came in and said, you know what? This is what you need to do. You can't see it right now. I see it. Hear the instructions. Follow the instructions. Really, you can't go wrong. Don't be afraid. Hold your shalom. Have your peace about you. I tell you, this experience with my ex-wife has kicked up my inner man to heights that I never believed I could go. And I know I'm still not finished yet. There's still more coming. But it's made me stronger on the inside of myself. Made me realize I can do this within myself. It can be done. I can write my script and it can be manifested and it can be brought in and it can be attracted just the way I wrote it. Just the way. And even better. Because I'm now given choices. Wow. I'm going to take this $22,000 that I've given to her, and it's going to turn into millions, Mishpah. You mark these words I just said. That $22,000 that I'm giving to my ex-wife is going to turn into millions. You mark my word. You mark my word because it's true. It's going to happen. I'm writing that script. It's going to happen. You watch. You wait and see. You wait and see. But I didn't sit here worrying and crying and complaining over $22,000 or worrying and complaining and upset and then hateful towards the ex-wife because she went down and dirty on me. She went low and she went against her word. I don't have to deal with that. Last time, the report that I was given was her health is really bad. I wonder why. She's having all kind of health problems. Well, I wonder why. Why? I'm not celebrating that. I'm just stating the facts. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna hold up to my end because my word is more important to me than anything. You must keep your word, Mr. Paul. You say you're gonna do something, you do it. You do it. You do it. So write your scriptures, Mr. Paul. I'm gonna close on that note. Just like the man Yahweh told Moses to tell the children of Israel, go forward. I'm not going to look back, because that's just, oh, my mind was like, man, I should have never left her. That's looking back. I'm like, hell no. I'm so glad I left her. I should have never left her. Then I wouldn't be paying all this money. I wouldn't have to give her this money. Now she need this money. Now she wanted this money. So what? Colleen taught this a long time ago. When I first met her, he used to always say, Kefa, money comes, money goes. Money comes, money goes. Money goes. So be it. That's life. And that's so true. So this money is going, but guess what's coming back? More money. That money's going, that $22,000 is going to be multiplied so many different ways. Oh my goodness. And I have my ex-wife to thank for that. I thank her for that. Because again, these events, what they'll do is they'll accelerate you. If you're not careful, they'll take you back a few notches because you allow them to. But go forward. Go forward. Don't look back. Don't say, oh man, it was better in Egypt. No, hell no, it wasn't better in Egypt. No, you should have never took me there. No. I'm so indebted and I'm so grateful to the Kohis that he has taken me there. He has shown me that, life, I'm learning life in a total different way. And just an abundance of a way. That's a whole new world on this side when you're living in consciousness. And you come out of unconsciousness. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful world over here. So when we sit up here and we teach you these things, it's not just rote. It's not because we read it in a book. It's because we experiencing this. And this is why I put my personal life out here to the whole world. Because this stuff is real. And I want to acknowledge the I am. I want to acknowledge the universes for what it really is. And that's the source energy and for all the great miracles that yet lie ahead. For all of us, Mishpahah, for all of us. I want to tell you something else. I tell you, this is really personal. But every night, my wife is pregnant, and every night I talk to my baby in her stomach, my little boy, and I read to him. I read to him this book. Because I'm reading to him this book about the train that could. Every time I read this book, as I read this book, I have one hand on my wife's tummy, and the baby, 18 weeks now, 18 weeks. And now my wife is 18 weeks, and now for the first time last night, the baby, when I read this story, I read to my baby, my wife would always tell me, oh, the baby's moving. Well, I put my hand on my tummy, and I never feel the baby move. Last night, the baby, I'm reading this book, I'm telling my son, I'm saying, look, you can, you are. You can do anything you want. And I do just like Kohe says, but I change it. I write the script a different way. I tell my baby, you are successful. You are strong. You are healthy. And I'm saying these things, and my wife said, oh, the baby's moving when you're talking. And every time I read the book on the train that could, when everybody said the train couldn't, and the train was thinking, oh, I wish I was a plane. And the train was thinking, oh, I wish I was a car. And I'm like, no, you can be. You be happy being the train, but you could be anything you want to be. And I'm reading the story, and my wife actually could feel the baby. He would kick my hand. Last night I could feel that, and I'm like, well, Hashem. And I give thanks to the Creator. My little baby within the womb is responding to my voice. Every time I would say choo choo, oh, he would start kicking. You could feel him kicking my hand. I could feel him kicking, moving within my wife's womb, and I'm like so happy. Super excited. First time father, so this is all new to me, but I'm enjoying every moment of it, Mishpahah. And I give thanks. I understand the power of words, Mishpahah. The power of words. I'm going to say maybe his middle name should be Choo Choo. So I'm really responding, and I'm enjoying every moment of this. Every moment. From the cravings that my wife gets and all these other things. I tell you, yesterday was pasta. I had to make pasta yesterday. Make some pasta for the wife. I tell you, baby love the pasta. So I tell you, I think it's barbecue today. So I think tomorrow I'll be barbecuing. I'm craving barbecue. So everything is so beautiful. Everything is so lovely. But it's important that we understand that, this mode that we're in, this is source energy. And even my baby responds to that energy. When you start talking positive and you start talking, that positive energy, the baby's responding and moving and kicking. Of course, you hear my big mouth. The baby knows my voice. He knows Father. He knows who Father is. And he responds to that. And I'm super happy, super excited. And I look forward to the great things that are ahead. Because my baby will do great works. The son will grow up and he will do great things for this country and many other countries as well. He will be super successful. He is riches. He is wealth. He is abundant. He's all that now, and he knows it because I tell him every day. So Baruch Hashem, and I read to him every day as well. So Baruch Hashem, and he will be a 4x. He will be a 4x millionaire as well, multi-millionaire, because his father is setting the foundation for him. So that's the script I write over here, Mishpah. Now you get into the lives of Rabbi Kefa, Rabbi Damon. Our lives are real. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. There's more stories behind. I can't tell them right now. I don't have the permission to. But I'll tell you, there's some great miracles that are happening. And I'm so glad to be a part. And you all to really encourage you, and all to really encourage you as well as you write your scripts and as you manifest and you attract the things in your life. Meet your desires, your wants, your needs. Hey, I say Baruch Hashem. And I tell you, just like the Master Yahweh told Moses to tell the children of Israel, move forward, go forward, go forward. And on that note, I'll wrap up this lecture and say Shabbat Shalom to you and Shalom Shalom to you. And my desire, my script I write for you is all the best. The best that is best for you. Everything that makes you happy in life, wish it for you. I wish it upon you, and I desire it for you as well. And Rabbi Benia, I celebrate with you as well in your RV. I celebrate with you. I celebrate with you, my brother. And I know there's Pit House. I'm with you on that too. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Shalom to all of you, Mishpah. Over to you, Akohi. We'll leave it open for any questions or comments now. I think Luxury Class had a question.
Todah for that, Rabbi Kefa. Yeah, that was great. Great lecture, great testimonies for those listening in, and great application. I wanted to give a testimony of somebody else that I guess I was instrumental in his marriage as well. This person is living in Wisconsin, and he keeps in touch from time to time. And he wrote into me, and it was a while ago. This is now going back about maybe 10 years, maybe a little bit more. And this person had a real bad marriage. Bad marriage in the sense that he was married to a lady, he was a Caucasian family, and he had about 5 sons from this lady. And but the lady was very disrespectful to this man, extremely disrespectful. Would put him down, would call him names. And one day, I was speaking to him, and I said to him, well, how long do you want to continue with this barrage of abuse? And he said to me, well, he said, Brother Simon, I don't know what to do with this, because I've been married to this woman for 16 years, and so much disrespect. She doesn't respect me. She speaks down to me. So one day I just said to him, I said, it's time that you get your divorce papers out. It's time to divorce this woman. And he goes to me, where am I going to find another wife? I said, well, I'll send you another wife. I said, your other wife is going to be in the east. You know where I sent that man? I sent him to Indonesia. I said, that's where your wife is. And he said to me, okay. He was serious. He's like, okay. So how do I go about it? I said, easy. I said, first you got to deal with the divorce. Get the divorce, then we'll deal with the other wife. So this man ended up, on my instructions, I'll have to tell you the truth, it was my instructions for him to divorce this woman, because this woman was way out of her league. She wasn't the type who's going to turn around and change her behavior. So I told him that this woman is way beyond her reach. She's not going to change her behavior, and you're going to have to either submit to her the rest of your life, or you're going to have to get out now. So he decided to get out. He said to me, I'm getting out. So he got out. He got a divorce from this woman. He then found a woman in Indonesia. He then contacted me on Skype. I ended up marrying this man on Skype in Indonesia with this woman that he found over there. And he brought her to the US. Maybe it took a little while. I don't think it took a long time, but it took maybe a year or so for him to bring that wife over. And he wrote in to me about maybe 2-3 months ago. He wrote in to me, and he was like, my goodness, he was like, Brother Simon, me and my wife, we are extremely indebted to you for what you did for me and for my wife. He said, I wish you could come over to our place. They are still in Wisconsin somewhere. He said, I wish you could come to our place and see our 2 children, see how happy I am. He said, I have the best wife in my life. And he said, I'm so happy with this woman, and I'm so grateful to what you did for me back then, because you're the one who, told me time to move on, time to, shift gear. And he told me that he loves me, and I wrote back to him. I said, his name is Chris. I said, Chris, I love you your wife. I'm very, very happy for you, and I know you're having a beautiful relationship, and continuing the relationship. Maybe one day we'll meet. As well. But in the meantime, I'm so delighted to hear that you have a wonderful marriage with your new wife, and that you are really, really happy in your life. And I said, no matter what you do in your life, I will always love you as my friend. And that's another success story that I have in my records of a man, who had to leave a wife that was disrespectful, always putting her husband down, and I couldn't see it. I was living in England, by the way, at that time. I wasn't in the US, I was in England. And that's when I told him, I said, no, it's time to act. You cannot just wait for this to just change. And that woman, he told me about his ex-wife. He said she is no different to what she was before. She's still the same woman, even worse. She's worse than what she was before. And of course, his children are now grown up. He has 5 sons with that woman. They're all grown up, and they're close to their father. And now he has another 2 children from his other wife. So, very happy man. Unfortunately, I don't encourage divorce. I'm not one to encourage divorce. But sometimes that is the only answer of a bad situation. Sometimes your situation can be resolved. Situation can be resolved of a bad marriage, but there are times when the situation is unfortunately unresolvable. Why? Because one party just doesn't want to know. One party don't care, and one party just sees the other party as insignificant. When you see that, then unfortunately I have to say that divorce has to be the only option. But I like to think now, I like to think that there are good marriages, there are bad marriages. I like to think personally that a marriage is great when 2 people make it great. I believe personally that a marriage can be made great by the 2 people, and it takes work. And yes, even a bad marriage can be made a great marriage, but it takes work from both parties. It's not a one-man ship. It's a covenant. And when people don't understand that a marriage is a covenant, that's when they have problems with marriages. So I have helped, and I like to say that I helped some couples who were struggling, having difficulties, and I helped them to overcome their difficulties, where they can have a suitable marriage, with each other, and have a good life together. But like I said, it's work, and many times some people don't want to put in the work. Some people want a quick solution out. Divorce is not a quick solution. Divorce has to be the absolute last option on the table. Absolute last option. Before divorce, there are many options for peaceful, for a peaceful negotiation, for a peaceful life, for a loving life. These are all the options that we have on the table before we go to the last option. But hopefully, and I'll say not just hopefully, definitely, majority of the cases that I've seen do resolve without going to the divorce courts. But there are some very stubborn cases in which divorce, unfortunately, is the only way for a person to break free, and that's where there's abuse involved. Where there's abuse involved by one party or the other, divorce is the unfortunate solution in our world today. And sadly, it's a word I don't like to use, but sadly, that's something that has to be addressed in certain families. So with this, as Rabbi Kefa was telling you about the script, some of you who are still asking questions and have desires in their life to be successful, I would encourage you to write your script, as Rabbi Kefa said. Write your script, because it is your script that will make immense amount of difference in your life. And I have explained that before, that you need to, if you're a morning worker, if you work during the daytime, you need to write your script first thing in the morning. 5 o'clock you need to be up. There should be no excuse, no questions. You should be up at 5 o'clock and you should be ready to write your script. If on the other hand you work night shifts, then you should be writing your script in the evening when you finish work. After you've eaten your food, etc., you should be sitting down and writing your script. And you must do that, because when you don't write your script, you don't have a plan of a future ahead. So I want you to write your script, especially for you, Jacob JB Israel. Now for you, because I know you desire to have a great job, your script should be every day in the morning. You should be writing that you should be giving thanks. Of course, you should start with gratitude, and then you should start with, I'm grateful that I have a great 6-figure salary. You should be writing your script like that. I am grateful to God that I am now working in a job of my dreams with a 6-figure salary. So let's just say 5 figures. Let's just say 5 figures to start with, because for some of you, you'll be like, hey, how can I make 6 figures? It's not possible for me to make 6 figures. And you have this hurdle that 6 figures is not possible. So if you have that hurdle, we overcome the hurdle with, we start with 5 figures. We say, I am so happy and grateful. I am extremely grateful to God. I'm extremely grateful to the eternal I am that I have a beautiful, wonderful job. Put a price on it. How many $1,000 you want? $90,000, $100,000, $120,000. Put a price on it. You can put a price on it, or you can say, leave it open. You have 2 options. You can put a price on it, or you can leave it open. But that should be written daily. That script needs to be written daily. Daily grind. Every day it should be on your writing. I am so grateful to the eternal I am. I am so grateful to the God of the universe that I am doing my dream job with a 6-figure salary, or that I am doing my dream job that's paying me $90,000 plus. That's what you should be writing. And when you write that every day, when you write it, that's your script, by the way. That's one of your scripts. When you write that, and then you see yourself, yeah, exactly, Rabbi Kefa, you imagine yourself on that job. You see how you're doing that job. You see how you are working in a place with that job, with the people around you. You need to visualize it. You need to see it in your imagination, because imagination creates reality. Imagination creates reality. Remember these words. Imagination creates reality. The Word of God lives inside you. The kingdom of God is within you. That is what you're going to tap into. When you tap into the kingdom of God and you utilize that, that's when you're going to start becoming successful. So therefore, it's very important. That is great. That is great, Jacob. Jacob, I'm very happy for you. If you've succeeded, that is a great. I'm very happy to hear that. And you can definitely write. But remember, there is an important element to writing about debt-free. There's an important element to it. And maybe you want to consult me on that after the class. It's sometimes people get that wrong, because they will write, the way they write, it can actually end up against them instead of for them. So in order to be free of any loans, debts, things like that, there is a way to actually write it, to make it bring into your life. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening, and have a great Shabbat. We still have about half a Shabbat over here, and the Shabbat is over in the European hemisphere. I wish all my European families, all our mishpacha over there, the people with Israel, have a blessed week ahead. Have a great week ahead, because Passover is ended after tonight. So your lunar Passover, if you're doing the lunar Passover, that's ended tonight, and then you're gonna carry on with your following week, doing your necessaries, and get on with your life. And Passover week was a week of protection, week of blessings. I hope it was a wonderful week for all of you, and you do great works as you go along your way. Todah, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Shalom.